What's happening, San Diego? Great Tuesday morning. Welcome back. Your midday hang has returned after a long holiday weekend. It's Annie and Elsten here with you for the next 4 hours. We're all together in our Odyssey studios overlooking Murphy Canyon. Annie Halbrand's here. My name's Craig Elsten, joined by Braden Suprenant, back after an even longer weekend for himself. Let's start things around the horn and say good morning to Annie. What's going on?
Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone had a great weekend. If you were off yesterday, those who were. And great Tuesday morning.
Braden is back from travels, parts unknown. Where were you again on Friday?
I went to Texas over the weekend.
That's right. This was your TCU check-in.
That's right. They actually won too. Take that, Gundy. Couldn't handle the Frogs. The TCU played a team that hadn't won all year. Every week they'd be a lot better this year, record-wise. But it was fun.
Outstanding. Okay, so everyone back together. I just stayed in San Diego. I didn't go anywhere. But still had a great weekend nonetheless. Hope you all had a great weekend out there. We're together with you here till 2 o'clock, wrapping up the weekend that was, the long weekend that was in the world of sports and getting you set for the week that will be. No guests scheduled for today. This is going to play like a Monday show, even though it is a Tuesday program, as we take you in the first hour through the weekend that was, kind of hit the biggest stories that impact you as a San Diego sports fan, and then we'll carry forward a lot of baseball talk in the second hour. 12 o'clock Sports Fix gets you officially wrapped up on all the other sports in the weekend that was. We will get to the 12 o'clock hour with Mind the Gap as today's silly game. Vegas getaway once again on the board. We are back on that Vegas tip, sending people out for an end-of-the-month qualifier to head to Westgate, Las Vegas. So we'll play that at 12:45. 1 o'clock hour will include Braden's football segment, NFL overreactions, as we now officially hit the true halfway point of the season in terms of everyone at least having played half of their schedule. We'll get into that a little bit later in the show. We'll wrap things up with Ask Us Anything. So like I said, it's a Tuesday show that plays a little bit like a Monday today. So as such, let's start with topic A from the weekend that was. And it's a tough one to talk about because we're just in hope mode right now. Roki Sasaki is going to post. The Chiba Latte Marines under pressure from Sasaki, who's adamant that he doesn't want to go play in Japan anymore. He wants to move to the United States. He wants to move to the major leagues. He is forgoing hundreds of millions of dollars in value by posting at age 23 instead of waiting for 2 more seasons in Japan, posting at 25 when he could have done the Yamamoto and come in at whatever the market is 2 years from now, right? Come in at $375 million, $400 million. Who knows? Instead, he's going to sign for somewhere between $2 and $8 million of international pool money. He's just going to go to a team that he wants to go to, and then he's going to be a minor league free agent. He's going to be a rookie in big league baseball, getting a rookie salary, 3 years at the rookie minimum, 3 years of arbitration. This is, Annie, essentially saying that the number one pitching prospect in baseball is now available to be recruited, not even to be drafted, not even really to be signed, but to be recruited. And whoever gets him gets the bargain of the 2020s in Major League Baseball.
No doubt about it. I mean, this came through on Friday night, and it was surprising. It does read like, why wouldn't the Chibalotes, is that how you say their name?
Chibalate Marines.
Chibalotes. Yeah, okay, the Marines. Why wouldn't they have kept him for 2 more years and just gotten the posting fee that they could have gotten, like what they did with Yoshinobu Yamamoto, but instead they went the Shohei Ohtani route, where Ohtani came over for about $2.5 million or something like that. It was a little over $2 million. And you got to look at this with Roki Sasaki. He's going to be limited to signing a minor league deal. He doesn't even have the numbers that Ohtani was putting up by the time Ohtani ended up coming over to the United States. He has some questions, obviously, about his health a little bit, in terms of how much he can go. But there's not a team in baseball that I think wouldn't want this guy, pick him up, get him for a major, major steal, put him in your rotation. Even if he, even if he doesn't have the innings that you would hope this year, that's going to be coming in future years. He's got a fastball that hits triple digits. The splitter is nasty. I mean, he is a guy that every team is going to want and be in on. And for him to now be coming at the bargain price, signing a minor league deal essentially is what he's doing. It's the steal of the century for whichever team can get him, or at least that's what it's projected to be. You obviously don't know how the guy's going to be once he ends up, starting to play, but his stuff is good.
Yeah, and really, this is a momentous time in the history of the Padres-Dodgers rivalry, and this is going to be something that we're going to talk about for years and maybe decades to come if it comes down to these two teams. One of the things I did over the long weekend was I watched The Comeback on Netflix. It's a 3-part documentary. I'm sure you've heard about it. Maybe you haven't. Who knows? Sports documentary on Netflix, 3-part series going over the Red Sox-Yankees rivalry in the early 2000s with particular attention to the 2004 season and then the ALCS, where famously the Red Sox were the only team ever and still to be down 3-0 and come back and win the next 4 games and beat the Yankees, went on to win the World Series, and the curse of the Bambino 86 years in between World Series championships for the Boston Red Sox. It's a great documentary, but it starts by covering 2003 when the Red Sox looked like they would win the championship, and they lost in Game 7 to the Yankees, blowing a 3-run lead late. Pedro left in too long. Aaron Boone homer in extra innings. Famous dark moment. And in that offseason, the two teams were in an arms race to try and beat one another. And up for grabs, different situation, but up for grabs was Alex Rodriguez. He wanted out of Texas. The two best teams, biggest market at the time, teams in baseball, both wanted him. And the Red Sox thought they had him. Thought it was done. And the thing was, the new ownership of the Red Sox didn't want to take on all of Alex Rodriguez's contract. They had asked for certain changes in the deal. Major League Baseball declined that. It opened the door for the Yankees. The Yankees weren't in the deal. They got in the deal. They got Alex Rodriguez. It was a devastating blow to the Boston Red Sox. Who's to know, 1 year later that they would beat A-Rod, up down 3-0 in the ALCS. But my point is, for Theo Epstein, he knew he had to make a move to keep up with the beasts from New York. A.J. Preller knows he has to make a move to keep up with L.A. And he further knows that he doesn't have the money to do it. That the payroll situation is not what it was back in the day when John Henry was opening up the books for the Boston Red Sox. It's not what it was 2 years ago when Peter Seidler was opening up the books here in San Diego. So he doesn't have necessarily the ability to go get a Blake Snell, make a big move, say, oh, Dodgers, you get this, we get that, tit for tat, here we go, we're going to run for you. But Sasaki, they can get. They can get Sasaki, no problem. If he wants to come here, they can make it happen. There's one particular hurdle we'll talk about momentarily, but generally, if he wants to come here, he can come here. And that changes a lot going into 2025 when you pair these two teams against each other.
Yeah, and I think that, look, for A.J. Preller, he's done his work. I mean, I'm sure he's doing his work. There's going to be things that are out of his control, such as Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, or in Chicago. There's things you don't know. I mean, what is this guy? What is Roki Sasaki's? What does he want the most? Does he have a best friend that he wants to play with? Is there someone that he absolutely had his eye on no matter what? Of course, we have heard about Yu Darvish's appeal to him, and that's not nothing. I mean, I take that seriously. Yu Darvish is a mentor to him. And that could be a reason he comes to San Diego. Also could be a reason that he comes to San Diego. Maybe he doesn't want the madness of LA. Maybe he doesn't want how crazy it is there already with the following that Yamamoto has, that Ohtani has. Maybe he wants a quieter city, a city that he can grow more in. I mean, these are things that we just don't know about Roki Sasaki that are hard, to determine because we don't know him. But it could be that he just doesn't, maybe he likes San Diego as a city, better for his family, better for whatever, versus LA. So there are reasons that he can come. Hideo Nomo, also another reason that he can come to San Diego, or that he would want to come to San Diego. And I think San Diego's absolutely in it. I just, if AJ Preller, we'll never know if there's a reason he can't close the deal. But you got to think the amount of work that they put into this, there's just going to be some things out of their control.
J.J. Cooper from Baseball America was on with Ben and Woods earlier this morning. I don't know if any of the audio got cut into the computer or not, Braden, but he said something that he had also said on the Baseball America podcast. I had seen that report in our Padres Hot Tub Discord, which is that it's all about the when on Roki Sasaki, because again, he is an international free agent, which means he's subject to the rules for international free agent signings. Today, November 12th, remains 2024 international signing period. This is the period when the Padres spent all their international pool money to sign Leo Dallas DeVries and Humberto Cruz. And you might remember last offseason, the Padres traded for a little extra international pool money. And they did that so that they could get Cruz, the Mexican right-hander that they had, scouted, as well as DeVries, who they threw the bag at, and they threw all their money at. The Padres have like $5 or $10 left of international pool money. Like, they literally have none left. They might have enough for an international sandwich. That's about it. The Dodgers are the only team in baseball that has squirreled away a couple $1 million still of 2024 international signing pool money. Right now, almost every team has used up, as you would expect. It's November.
Yes.
January 15th was the first day of signing. You'd expect everyone would have used up all their money. Well, the Dodgers haven't. So what Cooper talked about was keeping an eye on the date, because when Chiba Latte Marines posts Sasaki, the day they choose that, there's a 45-day window by which he must sign or return to Japan. If he were to post tomorrow, today, next week, Thanksgiving, it would be 2024 money. And it would basically be just the Dodgers. Like, L.A. would really almost be the only team that could even offer him a contract, because you can't offer him $5.
Well, yeah. But it made me think when he said that. I was listening to that interview too. Really nice job on Ben and Woods. Is the whole plan to go to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers have the money, and so they're going to get it done?
Well, we're going to find out.
Yeah,
I think we're going to find out.
That could be the only scenario in which he posts now, versus waiting until the next, what would be next year's money.
If the whole thing's a done deal.
Yes.
If it's been done Dunsky for 2 years, and just no one's known it, then yes, he could post this week, and it'll be deeply disappointing to all of us. The date you got to keep an eye on is the first week of December. He said on his podcast, the 4th. He said on Ben and Woods, the 2nd. So I'm not sure. 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Somewhere in there. It's around that date that the 45-day window crosses over to next January 15th. Because you can't sign anybody December 15th to January 15th international baseball. It's a dark month. So if he doesn't sign by the second week of December, which would mean he'd be posted now, then he's going to be available to everyone. And the pools that have been set up for 2025 money, that's the money that all 30 teams could theoretically throw at Roki Sasaki.
Yeah, and what we've learned about that is that most of that money for most of these teams has already been designated, because these these teams work ahead. They know who they're going to sign. They know what they're going to do. However, they have time to play with the money now. They have time to either say, hey, we promised we were going to sign this guy. We're not going to sign him anymore. This is some of the stuff we were talking about last week that goes on where stuff gets changed. Handshakes get taken away. Or, you decide that you're going to trade for more pool money and get more money. The money, I think, as long as he waits, the money can be worked out because you know that the money won't be, it'll be doable for all these teams essentially.
Right.
So yeah, I would think that, he's got to wait, and the Marines have got to wait so that they can get their most money. The Chibalote posting him now, it is interesting. It's funny. I was reading some Japan newspapers, translated, of course. Japan, Japan, and they're saying, "Hey, what is the problem with this posting and signing system? There's flaws in the system, because even though Roki Sasaki has been amazing, he still has yet to throw the 143 innings in a season that would qualify him for a league ERA title." He is suggesting that he had more to do there. There was more that he could have achieved. And the whole deal with the posting system is essentially, from what we read and hear, is, you earn it. You earn your right to get posted. And so you're seeing Japan news outlets saying, like, why is he being posted now? Like, he could have achieved a little bit more here. And then you got to kind of wonder, like, if I'm going to go all conspiracy, which hat tip to Scraby, I'm going to throw this to Matt Scraby now. I usually don't do this. But if he does sign with the Dodgers before, like, the other teams are able to get to him before the mid-December posting darkness that you mentioned that happens, and the ability for the other teams to join in January, then you got to wonder too, is there some kickback here? Like, are the Dodgers already telling them, the Marines, hey, don't you worry, like, we're going to make this worth your while somehow, and maybe through sponsorships? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, is there something already in play? But we're going to definitely find that out, and that's going to be the truth. We'll know that by the beginning of December.
Well, when we come back, we could talk about a couple of the things that actually point in San Diego's favor.
Also, Tony in the chat is saying, I'm suggesting that L.A., he's not going to go to L.A. because San Diego is less exciting. No, L.A. is more crazy. L.A. is more of he might be a player that wants something quieter, a little bit more of a softer landing spot. L.A. is that's a tougher place to live, a tougher place to be. It's a lot more people, a lot more freeways, a lot more happening than what he could get in San Diego. He might get more personalized attention in San Diego. That's a lot different than what he might get in L.A.
Yes, he's also going to be the third banana Japanese superstar on the L.A. Dodgers, and he'll always be the third. I mean, theoretically, he could get higher than Yamamoto, but no one's ever going to pass Ohtani, like ever. Literally, no one's going to pass Ohtani.
Well, yeah, and I mean, he might want that. That's what we don't know about Roki Sasaki. He might want to be with these guys. He might want to be with Ohtani. He might want to be with Yamamoto. Or he might look at that and be like, hey, you guys are up north. Awesome. I'll see you 9 times a year at least. And I'm going to hang out here with Hideo Nomo and Yu Darvish, who I totally respect. And I'm going to be able to get my bearings here in a more laid-back city. You don't think they're painting that to San Diego? They are. They're painting San Diego to him as a more laid-back city, a city where it's calmer, where he's going to be able to really grow as a player. I guess in contrast to what would happen in LA, where you're just sort of thrown into the deep end.
Well, let's come back and talk about it a little bit more. Andy and Elsten, we are underway. I think there's one real big factor that's working in San Diego's favor, and we'll bring that up when we return. Going to get through all of the big stories from the weekend, the long weekend that was, before we even get to 11 o'clock. So stay right here. It's Andy and Elsten, your midday hang on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. 10:25 on the Fan. Annie and Elsten back with you. Rolling till 2 o'clock today. Then it's Gwen and Chris from 2 to 6. It's the Scraby Show from 6 to 7, a full broadcast day on your home for San Diego Sports, 97.3. The Fan. Kind of got caught in between on our Roki Sasaki conversation. Want to pick it up on the other side of the break because we laid out all the brick and mortar of what's going on. This is a 23-year-old Japanese superstar. He is posting 2 years before he could make his bag by the international rules that are already established. As such, he's coming over as an international free agent, just like a 16-year-old kid out of the Dominican would, or a 19-year-old posing as a 14-year-old, or any other version thereof. And so all teams can scramble to try and lure Roki Sasaki across the line because Sasaki's coming over as a rookie and will not be paid. He'll be paid like Jackson Merrill was paid. He would be the ultimate add to a Padres team that's desperate for high-end talent and has already spent on so many long-term contracts. The literal, like, manna from heaven, golden goose, ultimate Christmas present, that's what he would be.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it would work out so well for the Padres because they are already up against it in the contracts that they already have devoted to the players who are already on their roster and the pay raises that those guys are going to get. So this would be for a starting rotation that A.J. Preller wants to improve and that he's going to need to. You know, Joe Musgrove's out for the season with the Tommy John surgery. They've got to find ways to get this rotation a little bit better, whatever way they can, and more depth. This would be huge. I mean, not just for this year, too. I mean, this would be huge for the future, for upcoming years. It would be a really big deal to whichever team lands him. And the thought is, too, that he's going to come to the West Coast. I think that's at least the presumptive thought. Although the Cubs do have Shota Imanaga.
And Seiya Suzuki. Right.
And maybe we're all wrong. Maybe he's got his eye over there.
The Mets have Kodai Senga.
That's right.
I mean, honestly, if you really look at the distribution of Japanese stars coming to the United States, it's not solely to the West Coast. It's been a pretty even mix. However, the last two and the biggest two went to Los Angeles, which has led to the typical thing you would expect from the National Baseball punditry, which is, oh, yeah, well, it's going to be L.A. Kind of just a shrug and an oh, well. And I want to listen, I understand. If you're someone from L.A. and then Sasaki does sign there, then you can look back at this as a bunch of wish casting, a bunch of hopium on the part of your little guys down in San Diego. You can pat us on the head and say, oh, so sorry, you lost again. But all of the arguments, Annie, that are being made of Sasaki must go to L.A. or Sasaki's definitely going to go to L.A., they're being made based on logical, financial arguments. They're saying, well, Sasaki will have the best chance to win in L.A. Oh, I mean, okay, there's all sorts of teams trying to win. The Dodgers have 2 titles in the last 44 years, but okay. Well, he's got Ohtani. He's got Yamamoto. The Dodgers are the most popular team in Japan. Why wouldn't he want to play in Los Angeles? Look at the sponsorship opportunities he could potentially get. Maybe he'll jump into the New Balance ad, within a day of showing up in Los Angeles. Look at all of this. Oh, all of this golden path that is lined up in L.A. It's more lucrative. If he cared about what was more lucrative, he'd stay in Japan 2 more years.
Exactly. I mean, he could have the chance to make the kind of money that Yoshinobu Yamamoto, $300+ million just coming out of Japan. Like, yeah, you're thinking about your second contract, but also if that second contract never comes, you're still fine. Like, you made $300+ million and you did pretty well for yourself. And that's just by leaving Japan and coming to the States to pitch in Major League Baseball. And that's essentially what his path is on. I mean, if he was to wait the 2 more years, he is not guaranteed, but almost guaranteed that kind of money. Unless something crazy happened, he would be making that kind of money or something close to it. So for him not to do this, again, the things that we've been seeing coming out of his camp are they want to respect his decision. He really wants to make a move to the next level. He has always dreamed about playing in the United States, but I mean, he's foregoing hundreds of millions of dollars by going this route and kind of betting on himself in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting too. I know that we've seen a few stories in the Athletic from him and Dennis Lynn's. He said league sources told the Athletic's Will Salmon that Sasaki's priorities will include stability, lifestyle, comfort, and a team's history of player development. But at the same time, you can make that argument for many places, I guess, that you land.
Well, you
pretty
can.
much every place, but
But
if he's really serious about it, if it's not just like player speak, then you would think San Diego's got a great shot with those criteria, as well as AJ Preller putting in major homework on this guy, doing major recruiting on him, really showing him that they want to take care of him. And Yu Darvish and Hideo Nomo, and that list goes on.
yes. And when you talk about a franchise that has a good recent reputation for developing pitchers, what Ruben Niebla has
yes.
done here in San Diego, his re-upping on a multi-year contract, that's a feather in San Diego's cap. By contrast, if you were looking at it from the outside as an agent, as a group around a superstar, which franchise in baseball has seen more young arms hurt than in Los Angeles, where the Dodgers talk about max velocity, max spin. They're always trying to ramp things up higher and higher. For a guy who's already had shoulder issues in his career, is that the direction that Roki Sasaki wants to go, seeing that Yamamoto was hurt for 2.5 months just last year in Los Angeles?
And a benefit to signing in San Diego is definitely Ruben Niebla. It's also Yu Darvish. I mean, Yu Darvish has... he's benefited from Ruben Niebla, no doubt about it, but Yu Darvish has also been the captain of his own ship for over a decade in terms of finding his own training, finding his own facilities, finding his own styles and methods in the offseason of improvement. A lot of things that you can pass on to another pitcher who's looking to improve himself and find some of those resources.
And that brings me to the ace card in the hole, which is AJ Preller. And within Dennis Lynn's latest story on The Athletic, he has a quote from the agent for Yu Darvish, Joel Wolfe, who is expected to be part of the decision-making tree for Roki Sasaki.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Right? So Joel Wolfe couldn't be a bigger fan of A.J. Preller for the way A.J. Preller handled Yu Darvish last summer during the time that he was put on the restricted list. And I want to read you this quote because I think it really potentially could matter, because this seems like the kind of thing that if this guy's advising Sasaki like he advises Darvish, like Darvish would advise Sasaki, these are the kind of things that could matter to a young man who's talking about home, comfort, development, etc. Right? Here we go. This is Joel Wolfe. He says, quote, AJ is a somewhat mysterious person, and I know to his staff and coaches, the way he operates, he moves at the speed of light and works all hours, literally. But throughout all of this, and this is talking about Yu Darvish when he came back to the team. Throughout all of this, he was always there for Darvish every day if he ever needed him, whether it was to meet face-to-face or on the phone. And the one thing that came through that I realized early on is he knows Darvish much better than anyone in baseball. He's known him longer than even I have because he met him and got to know him and know everything about him since Darvish was even in high school when AJ was working for the Rangers and knew everything about how he was raised and his family. I think that's what Darvish was alluding to when he was talking to the media about AJ being a true friend to him. He really meant it, that there were things that they could talk about that only AJ would understand. And I'm grateful to AJ for his support throughout this. I just want it to be said. AJ's done this work on Sasaki too. He's known Sasaki since high school too. He's been in Japan for years scouting Roki too. So like everything you just heard there, I think, Annie, in terms of Darvish 13 years ago, you could say about what he's done the last 4 years to try and seed the garden to have this plant rise with Sasaki coming here.
Yeah, it's really par for the course with AJ Preller, especially internationally. I mean, you read about the story like Kevin Acee did for Jackson Merrill, where he was hiding at the high school scouting him. But at the end of the day, that's still a draft. You got to make sure and hope that no one's taking that guy but in front of you. This is different. Roki Sasaki gets to decide. And he gets to look at, hey, what teams have been here? What teams have really shown me the level and depth of care that I might get in the United States? The looking out for me, the willingness to work with me, the understanding of what I'm bringing to the table. There was obviously the stories written about how AJ Preller did that for the Ohtani sweepstakes as well, and even learned Japanese to be able to deliver his opening statement to Ohtani to show that, like, we want to meet you where you're at. We want to respect where you're coming from in Japan as well. Now, different situation because the Padres didn't have a DH at the time, and it's widely believed that if they did, he might have come to San Diego. But that's the kind of level and presentation and wherewithal. What we don't know is, are other GMs doing that? Are there other people courting him in that same way? But for AJ Preller, I would imagine he's there trying to use everything he can to court him the best he can. And for you, Darvish, too, it's I think that for you, because of what happened with AJ Preller and you, Darvish, with the restricted list, different players have different views of the GMs depending on their situation. But the only situation that matters here really is you, Darvish. And you, Darvish, had a very positive experience with AJ Preller this past year that I'm sure that they will try to use to help bolster their argument, and they should.
Nothing's a guarantee. We could all be getting set up to be let down again. And if he goes to L.A., it'll be, honestly, just another 2x4 to the back of the head is what it'll be. But I think we've got a real chance. I think we have a real chance for the move of the winter, for the move that changes the 2020s for the San Diego Padres. We did a segment a week or so ago about who's in the Padres rotation in 2026. And it's you, Darvish, age 39. It's Joe Musgrove back from Tommy John and Vasquez, Waldron. I don't know. Like, there's no one else. So all of a sudden, if you can just write Sasaki's name through the decade in your rotation and you're paying him at the end of that, and you could even literally come up with a contract extension for the guy that would be out beyond your current obligations, could be out beyond Machado and Cronenworth and Bogarts and all those guys. Like, that's how much it matters if you get a guy like this at this age. It's like just dropping Paul Skeens on your team. Just like, boom, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's guaranteed with Roki Sasaki either. He could come to the States and he could struggle. He could get injured. But for the amount of money he's going to cost, you take that flyer any day of the week. And there's going to be a lot of also motivation for Roki Sasaki because of the fact that he didn't wait to go out there and prove that he is willing and worthy to be playing in Major League Baseball stateside and getting that next contract. So I would think that even if he does, have some bumps in the road, he'd be able to get back on course. And you want to be the team that has him in your stable, ready to go, and ready to work with him for years to come.
Light a candle. Whether you got a Tatis candle, a Preller candle, whatever candle you got, light a candle. And we'll keep an eye out. And hopefully we've got a month of no news on this because...
This is the worst part, man. I wish he was signing in like the next week or two.
Yeah. No.
Because now it's like, is he going to go here? They're going to drop rumors everywhere. It's going to be, a lot of this is just going to be newsy kind of, but not really newsy. Just like camps dropping rumors.
Yeah, if he signs in the next week or two, he's signing in L.A.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. So we need it to be
you don't want that to happen.
No news is good news for the San Diego Padres for Sasaki for the next couple of weeks. All right, when we come back, a continuing tour of the weekend that was. We really hit topic A for 2 straight segments. How about beach party bummer at Snapdragon Stadium on Friday night as the Aztecs drop one to New Mexico and then finally tear their misbegotten field just right up out of the ground.
New field. Incoming.
New field.
New
who
grass.
dis?
Yeah, new field. Who dis? Yes.
We'll talk
exactly.
about that and more in our next segment right here. Annie and Elsten, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour on 97.3 The Fans brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings is football. Hey, San Diego sports fans, head to your local Buffalo Wild Wings and try their new maple chipotle sauce for rich maple sweetness and a mild smoky chipotle heat. Or for a bit more kick, check out the new Cajun sauce for a rich blend of spicy and tangy pepper sauce. Stop by your San Diego B-Dubs or order now for takeout and delivery with Buffalo Wild Wings. Go! Andy and Elsten here with you. Kind of going through the weekend that was. We've got so much to catch up on. As usual, 3 sports days in the rearview mirror. We'll get to as much of it as we can, and then some of it will kick over into Wednesday's show, and we apologize. Friday, all the way back Friday, the Aztecs competed with the first round of CIF high school playoff football, taking on the New Mexico Lobos. Watched a good portion of this game, not all of it, but I did watch a good portion of this game. And first things first, it was, what's the right word? Distressing, yet in a weird way, affirming to me that the field was not pristine for the Aztecs and the Lobos. Because if it were, it would make the last couple of weeks prior extremely sus. But nope. In fact,
No conspiracies here. The field just is not good.
it was the worst field I've ever seen. I mean, I'm not kidding. It was the worst field I've ever seen for a major Division I college football game. I've seen a terrible field for a Little League baseball game. I've seen a terrible field for, semi-pro whatever. I've never seen anything like what I saw at Snapdragon Stadium, where the entire middle of the field was just sand. I mean, you couldn't even see the grass.
No, on the broadcast, you could see like every step that was taken, a puff of sand. But
It looked like that.
Pop up.
It looked like the backyard football game you would play as a kid on the computer. That when they played, and all the different teams had different little backyard parks, and when you played like a Southern California team, they were playing on the beach and they had little sand flipping on. That's what it looked like. It looked like that video game.
Tiff Tuff to the rescue.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it was just embarrassing. And the thing is, San Diego State, they can't speak up about it because it's their yard. So that's why it was good for the Wave to call attention to it, because otherwise it's literally an emperor has no clothes situation where everyone's just like, oh, no, the field's fine. What are you talking about? The field's fine. And meanwhile, the national broadcast is laughing at the field, at how bad it was.
Was that broadcast team even there?
I don't even know. Probably not.
know either.
The way
Probably-
things go these days.
Was Petros on the call? Yeah,
He
Petros.
was.
Yeah, that means he wasn't there.
There you
Petros
go.
doesn't do any games outside LA, so they weren't even there. They were in a studio watching it on TV.
Delightful.
Calling the game.
Well, then no wonder they didn't rip it every single minute.
Because they didn't see it in person.
Right, because they just saw it on TV. I mean, when you're there in person, it's just disgusting.
It's very noticeable.
And there weren't that many people there in person on Friday. The turnstile count was 12,745 for the Aztecs, which is their lowest at Snapdragon Stadium ever.
Do you think the playoffs for high school affected that?
A little.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I think so.
There was 20 games on Friday that were
Right.
being played. Plus, and that's not even including the Division 5 AA schools or the 8-man football. But there was a lot of great playoff games in high school football that had some pretty good crowds. That probably deterred the college game on
It
Friday.
certainly had an impact. The fact that it's just a dang Friday night, right? You got
Yes.
other things going on. And It's
Yeah.
like, oh, do I want to go to what is usually 4-hour college football game that's kicking off at 7:30 at night
On a Friday.
on a Friday night? That's crazy. So, listen, that's part of the Mountain West TV deal, and, you'll deal with that for another year. And then who knows how much worse or better a so-called Pac-12 TV deal will be. Maybe they'll be playing on Tuesday mornings, for all I know. Nonetheless,
ESPN Plus deal, you get to set your own times.
there you go.
Bad news is you're on streaming and nobody watches.
Right. It's kind of a weird time for Aztecs football right now. The team is a little bit adrift. They're 3-6. They've got a career low crowd. I'm not getting off of the Sean Lewis bandwagon. I think it's ridiculous to do so. I actually thought today's story in the UT was a little bit unfair to him, putting up Reddit posts and handing them to Sean Lewis, which is what Kirk Kenny did. Like on Reddit, they have a poll about whether you should be fired or not.
Oh, I hadn't seen this story.
Yeah, and it's like,
They
I mean,
did that? That's insanity.
yeah, and so they're elevating and platforming opinions that they absolutely don't need to. Sean Lewis isn't going anywhere, and he's trying to build a program. Now, they haven't scored. You know, their average points per game is 21.8. It's 110th out of like 135 teams. So they haven't picked up the offense the way that everyone hoped. But guess what? They don't have the players. They don't have the players.
They don't.
So if you don't have the players, you don't have the offense. You don't just score 60 points a game because you want to, or you've got a really cool scheme.
Well,
you need
only
the athletes.
Not only do they not have the players, but any player that ends up being good is going to leave, right? For like they're going to leave. They're going to play. You're going to have a brand new roster every year. I mean, they asked the Oregon State head coach, "What is it going to be like to try to bring back most of these guys in this team?" And he said, "In the millions. I mean, millions of dollars that we're going to need in order to keep players out of school that currently is not in a conference that will be conference mates future with San Diego State. I mean, that is an Oregon State team that used to be a power program, right? They need millions of dollars to try to keep the players that they currently have, and those players are better than San Diego State's players right now. They are. I mean, we saw it on the field. They beat them. So it's I don't have like worries about Sean Lewis led Aztecs, but I do have some concerns about the Aztec football program in general.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it doesn't even have to do with like the X's and O's of the football team. It just has to do with the state of college athletics and whether or not San Diego State can keep up.
That's it.
And the reality is, as of right now, they have proven that they cannot do so.
Well, and that leads me to what to me is the pull quote from the Tuesday Aztec story in the newspaper, which was from his Monday press conference. And Sean Lewis said this into a microphone yesterday. Quote, "If you can give $1, if you can give $100, if you can give $100,000 to help us link the whole community of the 619 and give to Aztec Link so that we can retain our talent, we can develop our town, and we can do all things that Aztec fans have been longing for that we need to do. But we need to know and understand that the vehicle to make that happen in today's era of college football is the support and the resources that are needed to do that."
Which is BS for college athletics in general, that you have to have all your boosters and alumni pay for the salaries of the players on your team. That's not an
BS.
Aztec problem. That's a college athletics
It's
problem.
BS.
I don't want to do that for TCU athletics. I barely make enough money as it is. You want me to write a check because I'm a TCU fan for some 18-year-olds to go play for my alma mater? I can't afford that. There's a lot of people that have, disposable income that can, but now you're asking people here in San Diego, in a place that is a lot more difficult to live, where you have to be really tight with your money, that don't have a lot of ties to San Diego State with all the transplants. I mean, the environment of college athletics plus San Diego State situation is like it's a perfect storm of how to destroy a college football program.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's dispiriting. And we have talked about this before. My goodness, we just went through a political season where you probably got 7,000 calls or 8,000 texts,
whatever.
right? Please donate $5, donate 10 today, 3 times matching fund. Imagine donating in this situation, and then every time Marquez Cooper gets a first down or Danny O'Neill completes a pass, boom, here comes the push text. Hey, donate $25 if you want to see this in the future. Already, fans of the program are being asked to purchase season tickets, which come with a gift.
Right, that's automatically with a donation. My TCU tickets come, half of it is a donation to the program.
Right. So you've already got that, and now on top of that, it is, hey, if you want to have any kind of team at all, if you like it, pay for it.
Think about it from the Padre perspective, right? All these players that want to sign. And remember the whole tweet over the weekend, JT Rogan saying we'll see, Blake Snell wants to pitch for the Padres, but who knows if they have enough money. Could you imagine the Padres being like, hey, if you want to bring Blake Snell back,
right,
give us some money for a donation so we can pay him to play for the team? That would be insanity.
How about Roki Sasaki?
Right, same thing.
The Sasaki NIL fund. Can we get a sweet deal with blenders?
How
for
difficult
Roki?
would it be for the Padres to do the same thing, right? It's a transplant city. There's people from all over the place that have no ties to San Diego State that are living here that aren't going to donate money to it. Oh, how many alumni do we have on our station? 3? Annie, Chris, and Tony? Is that it?
I went to UCSD.
Right.
They're not
Seriously.
asking me for money yet for the program, but I'm sure they will.
Well, you'll get some basketball.
Yeah, it's
asks.
coming down the road. All right, when we come back, hour number 2, Padres have 2 finalists for Major League Major Awards. We'll talk about it when we come back.
money to Fernando.
Hour number 2 of Annie and Elsten underway with you. Welcome back, everybody. Annie Halbrin, Craig Elsten, Braden Soprenet, all together in our studios overlooking Murphy Canyon. We are coming to you live on 97.3 FM radio. We are streaming worldwide on the Odyssey app, AUDACY, free to download, free to use. We are being cut up into hour portions and fed out to podcast catchers all around the world, whether you use Apple Podcasts or Google Play or Spotify, or you use the Odyssey app as your podcatcher. We are out there as well. And we are a live TV show. Well, streaming TV show. We're not on Channel 7, but we are on YouTube. And you can find us on the 97.3 The Fan page on YouTube. Each and every one of our shows is streamed live. Hello to everybody in the chat. Great to see you. Please hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. We appreciate you, and it does help the algorithm to move the show along.
Well, I'd like to go back to a little of the San Diego State stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. So the grass that did you see all that about the grass that they're getting in?
The new grass?
The new grass.
Is it Bermuda?
So they're getting a hybrid Bermuda that is called Latitude 36. It wasn't available when they needed in September, which led to what Kirk Kenny writes, which is hilarious. The fateful decision to use Kentucky bluegrass.
Yes, mistake.
Yes.
Major
so
mistake.
hopefully this is something that they learn from. They're able to make maybe an earlier order for or whatnot whenever they need it. But yeah, it came from American Sod Farms in Escondido, and it's a hybrid Bermuda developed at the University of Georgia. It is drought tolerant, greens up quickly, and maintains its color late into the year. Best of all, it can withstand heavy foot traffic, according to what Kirk Kenny wrote in the UT. So I just think it's funny. It's the grass controversy.
Yes.
Now, Latitude 36
Good
is
old
going to be
Latitude
here
36.
at Snapdragon Stadium to hopefully save the day.
Well, it's funny you said that. Like when we were looking at all of the when I was looking at all the grass at the multi-use stadiums, Snapdragon was listed as using that grass on all their websites. So the fact that they were not using the grass that they said they were supposed to use probably makes a lot of sense. All of those multi-use NFL facilities that have soccer and football all use that type of grass.
I'm with JH619. I thought Latitude 33 was the name of a beer.
Latitude 36. But yes, it does sound like the name of a beer.
Latitude 33 is the beer. Latitude 36 is the grass.
Yeah.
But
And
not
someone
that
got
grass.
confused in between.
But not that grass.
And we wound up with Kentucky
But
stuff.
it's called Tiff Tough.
Tiff Tough.
Good old Tiff Tough.
Good old Tiff Tough. It's a hybrid Bermuda.
Well, good for the
it
high school
was,
teams that get to use it.
Developed at the University of Georgia.
So, look,
A lot of grass knowledge that we're getting.
right.
On this,
More than we
on
should.
this show in this year.
Yeah, more than we should, because it's just, it was a misuse of the stadium. But if we go forward and there's no problems, and it was just like, hey, do you remember those 2 months when they put in that really dumb field and how it was so bad? Then that'll be fine. It'll be, laughs and giggles.
That Kentucky bluegrass.
Yeah, years from now, we'll be laughing about, that Kentucky bluegrass. But hopefully they've got the grass sorted.
Yeah.
Hopefully they've got it sorted. Okay. Continuing forward, as we continue to review the last 3 days that were, and I can't wait to get to a couple things a little bit later in the show, including, I don't think you guys saw the Giannis, Jaylen Brown brouhaha on Sunday.
Yeah.
I did not.
It was fun. It was definitely fun. And NBA knows beef better than anyone. But let's start with MLB's awards finalists being announced yesterday. Really, there's no surprises here. The one thing I wanted to make sure the listening audience understands is when MLB puts out their lists of finalists, it's not like all-star voting, where they put out, here are the last 3 for the starting position for catcher. Now get out there and get your votes in. It's not like they list a finalist and then voters vote. No, the votes already happened. They're just showing you the top 3 without revealing the order for all of their votes. So whatever you're seeing as the finalists, those will be the finishers 1, 2, 3. You just don't know the order of finish yet. So really no surprises at all here. I don't think, maybe one, but NL Rookie of the Year is no surprise at all that it's Jackson Merrill, Paul Skeens, and Jackson Churio. And we all know that Churio's going to finish third. So it's just a matter of, do the voters give it to Skeens or do the voters give it to Merrill? And so far in the early awards season, it's been kind of 50-50 in terms of some awards going to Merrill, some awards going to Skeens. So next week, we'll know. It's a week from Monday. It's the 18th that we will know. So we'll either be happy or sad that day on behalf of Jackson Merrill. Either way, the good news is the Padres get to keep Jackson Merrill. He'll still be on their team regardless of the vote. But
We don't need any donations to try to keep him on the roster.
hey, whether it's $1, $10, or $1,000.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
I just feel like he kind of has to do that, Sean Lewis. What else can he
know.
do?
No, he
What else
does.
can he
That's
do?
the
He
whole
does.
point of being. I mean, that's why Chip Kelly likes being an offensive coordinator. He doesn't have to beg people for money anymore.
Yeah. Being a head coach in college football is now almost like being a
These
member
days?
of the House of Representatives.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, I'm going to the Capitol to make policy and to help create laws. No, you're going to actually go fundraise 40 hours a week. You're going to be on the phone fundraising. And then you have to immediately start fundraising for your next reelection campaign. And you're going to do that all 2 years long. And maybe you'll get to co-sponsor a bill or two.
And it's still
That's
not
about what
going to
it is.
guarantee anything.
It's not going to
Right.
guarantee anything.
That's
That's what makes
basically
it
what
so
it is.
tough, yeah.
That's why all these coaches are leaving college athletics, because it's like, I don't want to. They want to coach, and they don't get to coach while they do that.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
Well, Jackson Merrill is absolutely deserving. Whether or not he gets this award, I am happy for Jackson Merrill that he had the season that he had, that he got to go to his first All-Star game and win as a rookie. I don't think that's going to be his last All-Star game. And we know with these awards that sometimes they can be a little skewed, biased, whatever. I mean, you figure that
Sus.
Jackson, a little sus, yeah. Jackson Churio's camp, the people who've been watching him know what he can do. The people who've been watching Jackson Merrill pretty closely know what he can do. I'm sorry, Paul Skeens. It's those people that aren't covering any of those beats that are going to kind of look at stats, maybe talk to some people, read some stories, and then just make a decision. And who knows what way they're going to go. But Jackson Merrill is definitely deserving of the award.
Speaking of, and the links under 11 a.m., top link under 11, Braden, did you guys see that Jackson Merrill was at SoFi Stadium
Yes.
last night? Yeah, he's a Dolphins fan.
He was, I saw a picture on his Instagram story there standing with Tom Garfinkel, who used to be with the Padres and now runs the Dolphins.
I mean,
Well, as their
why
like,
isn't
you
he
know,
a Ravens fan? He grew up in Maryland, didn't he?
I think his dad was a Dolphins fan, is what they said.
He's
There you
also
go.
not a,
That's him, by the way, with Jalen Waddle, star wide receiver, exchanging
like he
his
wasn't
jersey
an Orioles
with
fan.
Jackson
He was a
Merrill.
Red Sox fan, Maybe he just
Yeah.
has a,
Just likes to jump
Maryland
on bandwagons.
haters, what
Yeah.
it sounds like
That's
to
right.
me.
yeah.
Guy doesn't like anything.
Didn't like any of his
Maryland.
home teams. Yeah. So get me
I
out
don't
of
know
here.
if he's got a connection. I mean, he must with,
I think they said his
With
dad
Waddle.
was a Dolphins fan. I think his dad was a Red Sox fan too. So his dad is obviously the one that is all over the place.
So, in other words, Mr. Merrill's son listened to him, unlike
Yes.
my son, who doesn't listen to me, doesn't root for any of the teams I root for.
well, it could be worse. He could root for his grandfather's favorite baseball team.
Ooh, that would be way worse.
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, that
It
would
could always
way
be worse.
Way worse.
Then you'd have two Dodger fans you had to deal with instead of
Could
one.
you imagine if he did that?
Cut him off.
Pretty much.
Time to get a job, James.
Pretty much. Start thinking about, hey, the day you turn 18, maybe you want to consider
And that is how
low-income housing.
And that is how my dad made sure that his kids rooted for the same teams that he rooted
yeah,
for.
there you go.
My brother one time, he was very young. He liked, little toy airplanes, wanted to root for the Jets, and my dad said, "It's fine, you're sleeping outside."
It's all good.
And then he was in tears, and he never rooted for the Jets again.
Well, sometimes tough love needs to be administered.
That's how you establish the pipeline when it comes to being fans.
Moving from rookie of the year, again, there's nothing to be done. There's no campaigning. The votes are already done. It's just a matter of tipping the cap. And we've tipped the cap to Jackson, and we've talked about this race. We'll finally get resolution to it on Monday. Thank goodness. Great to see Mike Schilt added to the list of NL Manager of the Year. So he either finished first, second, or third. Probably Pat Murphy, as we talked about in September. Probably he'll get the award.
that would make their executive of the year and their manager of the year for the
Right.
Brewers if that happens.
Because obviously they had the best year in baseball.
For the first round exit.
Yeah, losing to the
Well,
Mets. In
I
the
hope
first round.
there's a good consideration given to Mike Schilt because he also absolutely would be deserving of the award. Got the award in 2019 for his managing of the Cardinals, but would be nice to see him get another one.
Yeah. I always feel like the manager of the year award is kind of a bad luck horseshoe, like
The next year's usually bad.
yes. How many men? I mean,
It's like the cover of
Sports Illustrated. Yes.
Sports Illustrated and the games.
Oh
like,
yeah, EA Sport.
Thank
yeah,
you.
Yep,
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, it feels a little jinxy. I mean, in the NBA, they had a run of like managers, coach of the year getting fired the next year. Like there was like a run of like 3 or 4 years that it happened. So, I don't particularly
Madden,
care if he
yes.
wins. I don't particularly care if he wins NL Manager of the Year. He already got his extension. Like that's the big
That's
prize.
how I feel about this, and I think that's how look. It's great if you win these awards, but they are subjective in some ways. In a lot of ways, they're subjective, and so you can't put too much. You can't cry over it too much if you don't get it.
You cannot. All right. Quickly to the rest of them. NL MVP. It's either Ohtani, Lindor, or Marte. It's Ohtani. Right? No disagreement. Right?
For which one?
NL MVP.
Oh yeah. I would
Yes.
Imagine that's
Ohtani beats Lindor. Marte finishes a distant third. American League MVP. It's Judge. It's Soto. It's Bobby Witt Jr. I think Judge wins MVP.
I would agree.
Soto
Yes.
second. Witt third. I think it's pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
NL Cy Young. Chris Sale. Paul Skeens. Zach Wheeler. It's Chris Sale. It's Chris Sale by a wide margin. I think second and third will be pretty close. I don't think there'll be any distant
Chris Sale's been the favorite for months now.
the whole way.
Yeah.
There's nothing changed from the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
He should win. American League Cy Young is an interesting group in that I think it's obvious who's going to win. Tarek Skubal is going to win the American League Cy Young. But second and third are Seth Lugo and Emmanuel Clase. And that's the first time a reliever's even been honored or a finalist since 2008.
Oh wow. I
Yeah.
didn't realize it had been that long.
Yeah, Frankie Rodriguez when he saved 57 games.
Even nominated, like even
To finish top three.
Like top three. I mean, finalist.
Finish top three.
Right.
So pretty impressive. And for Seth Lugo, I mean, hey.
What a few years for him.
Exactly. Speaking of tip of the cap, there's a guy who bet on himself, said, he could have had infinite relief contracts to just keep being what he was, eighth inning guy, whatever. He said, I can be a starter. Credit to Ruben Niebla, credit to the Padres, AJ making that call, signing him up, and 2 years later, finishing probably second in Cy Young Award winning. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, huge deal for him to even be a finalist. Exactly. Someone who wasn't really going to get the chance to be in a starting rotation, and they weren't going to let him do it with the Mets, and he really worked to make that jump and find a team that would take a chance on him. And credit to the Padres, too, for taking that chance, and for A.J. Preller and that coaching staff to say, all right, let's give you a shot. Let's see if it can work. And then, the rest is history with what Ruben Niebla was able to do with him. But, yeah, pretty cool for Seth Lugo. And now stays in Royals world with come on, the other guy that went from San
Michael
Diego.
Wacha.
Thank you, Michael Wacha. Yes, who just also signed an extension.
He did.
Yes.
American League Rookie of the Year is the more typical type of class. That's the sad thing for the three finalists for the NL. Any one of them would have been a runaway Rookie of the Year, probably like 8 out of 10 seasons. And it's only 1 or 2 years out of 10 that you have a big class together. American League is really undistinguished. Colton Cowser was okay, 24 homers, 123 OPS plus. Luis Heel of the Yankees, 3.5 ERA. He won games, but he was pitching for the Yankees. Austin Wells was pretty good, but he wasn't impressive. None of these guys would finish in the top 5 in the National League. But one of them will win the American League Rookie of the Year. I'm guessing it'll be Colton Cowser, and that'll just keep up the whole thing in Oriole land in terms of their youth movement. Lastly, AL Manager of the Year. This one is a little more wide open. Stephen Vogt, Matt Quatraro of the Royals, A.J. Hinch of the Tigers. I think it's Vogt.
Or Hinch.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
I think it's Vogt.
I think it's Vogt as well.
But you can make the argument for Hinch.
Hinch for the late run.
Right. The improbable run, the run that no one expected, and able to use that bullpen to his advantage as far as he could in the playoffs.
I mean, Quadraro, a team that lost 106 games winds up winning 86 games. So it's a year over year incredible. But there was a lot of investment in that team.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's Vogt. I think that Stephen Vogt was brought into a situation where his team was cutting payroll, and he stepped in as a rookie manager and just rocked it. Rocked it. And hey, Cleveland, took it to the ALCS. And if their closer wasn't blowing games left and right, maybe they would have lost to the Dodgers instead of the Yankees.
So weird. So weird to even say after the regular season that they had, in which that wasn't happening.
Right. Yeah, like the whole postseason. Well, listen, the problem was our closer just kept blowing games.
I was like, what? Are you sure?
Same closer that's finished in the top 3 in AL Cy Young
It's the
Award
same
winning.
as the Padres. Wait, what? They're bats? They're bats? How could it, it's not funny, but it's funny, just how opposite things got in the postseason. But yeah, I think that one for the AL is probably your most gray area one. But the other ones, I agree with you, are pretty straightforward.
This baseball coverage that you're hearing right now on 97.3 The Fan is presented by T-Mobile. Head to T-Mobile.com and get a great deal on an iPhone 16 Pro. When we come back, a check into the Winter League, where Leo DeVries just keeps rolling. Playing the Arizona Fall League All-Star Game, boop, right down to Estrellas in La Republicana Dominicana. We've got his homer to show you when we come back, plus another Padre playing in the Dominican that's playing for his job. And could that job even be in San Diego next year? We'll talk about that when we come back. Annie and Elsten, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Don't let AI dictate your fantasy lineup. Instead, get bite-sized fantasy football analysis in your ears. Listen to the Sleeper King podcast, giving you all the fantasy insight you'll need in just 20 minutes every day. Every league has a Sleeper King. It should be you. So follow the Sleeper King on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
I felt like a sleeper king this weekend.
Did you?
Catching up on rest.
Oh, yeah,
great
yeah.
stuff.
That's a literal sleeper
That's
king.
sleeping
Yes.
king, yeah.
Sleeping king, yeah. King
Hopefully
of sleep.
everybody has been a sleeper king since the time change.
Yeah. I didn't sleep
think
great last
so.
night. I was trying to figure out why, but I don't know. If it was something...
Trying to figure out a contract for Roki Sasaki and,
Nah,
and Blake
well,
Snell
that's it. I
and
didn't
Juan
think
Soto all coming to San Diego.
I didn't think I had a troubled mind last night, and I was tired, and then the lights went out, and all of a sudden it was like my stomach started hurting for some reason. I don't know.
No.
Yeah,
no.
I was like, did something go wrong with dinner? But we all had the same dinner. Everyone else was completely fine. So
They got better guts than you, Craig. You're
maybe.
losing your edge, my guy.
I might be losing my edge. I don't know.
Ah.
I don't know what it was. But anyways, doesn't matter. We just talked about it, and it
How are you feeling now?
That's
great.
right.
Feel
Oh,
great.
good. Well,
Feel
that's good.
wonderful.
What did you
Yeah.
have for dinner last night?
Milaga, a lovely Filipino stew.
Ooh.
Which is kind of a beef broth with beef in there that's so tender that it just kind of, shreds and falls
Melts.
apart. And potatoes and cabbage and green beans. And it's all in there. And it was quite flavorful and delicious.
Just made
Sounds
made a homemade chili last night. It was delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, some good stuff.
Yeah,
It's a
Mitzi
time of
made it,
year
of
for
course.
that.
I didn't make it.
It is.
Mitzi made it.
Yeah, well,
was
but
good.
I'm sure. I think she sounds like a great chef.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. And so I just wanted to make clear that it was not the dinner. Because the
I
dinner
don't-
was
I don't think it
delicious.
was.
But whatever. I just felt like funky. Maybe it was the ice cream sandwich I ate.
Maybe it was that.
He told us off air that it was definitely the dinner, and it was always the dinner.
Liars. Liars.
I am lying, but it was
Fair enough.
throw Craig under the bus with his wife. Be kind of funny.
Fair enough. All right, quick winter league.
Report back on that tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully
I heard
this
them
wasn't her
say. I heard them say.
Well, she hasn't popped into the chat, so I'm guessing that maybe
We're
not
okay.
listening on break right now.
Good.
Check in on the Winter League. Leo Dallas DeVries. It's exciting. It's like Leo's coming, kind of like Salas is coming. So we get to have these little updates along the way. DeVries had a perfectly good Fall League season, got voted to the Fall Stars game, Arizona Fall League. Immediately, the day after the All-Star game, he's down in La República Dominicana. And this is the Javelinas taking on the Rafters. First at bat for Leo DeVries.
As Sasaki twirls the glove over his head as this ball's driven to deep left field. Kiss that one goodbye. A long home run for Leo DeVries, and the Padres prospect goes deep to start the sixth. That ball was smoked. DeVries knew it right away, and he's going to enjoy a trot around the bases here.
That was a no-doubter. Pushing that ball where that one left. He knew it right off the bat. Goodness gracious, what a swing.
Don't know who those kids are that are announcing the game.
Is it the same guy, just changing his voice?
It really sounded
It
like
sounded
it,
like
didn't
the
it?
same guy. He's like, well, Steve, that was really great. He pushed it out there.
That was pretty funny.
That would be amazing if that happened somewhere. I feel like it could.
It's some
Where
dude in
someone's
a.
calling play-by-play and then they just kind of like
Change their voice
change
a
their
little bit.
voice and start doing color.
I mean, they're
should
doing
try
that from a
that.
studio. Guaranteed, they're doing that from a studio, right? Like,
Well, that highlight looked like it was in spring training.
that was like yesterday.
Yeah, they had the Diamondbacks.com thing behind the. That was at Salt River Fields.
Maybe.
That's what it says on the deal. Maybe that's why. Maybe they're actually there.
Fair enough.
They could be Arizona State students.
Well, it's still the Dominican. Wait, the Dominican League's playing in the U.S.?
I don't know. The
Really
highlight that
confused
is
by
here
all this,
that
right?
played, it had Javelinas and Raptors on the thing, but like the guy in the jersey is wearing a Rockies jersey, and DeVries is wearing a Padres jersey, and then the catcher's wearing a Rockies jersey, and they're playing at Salt River Fields with the Rockies logo on the back.
Don't know.
Well, they were in the Fall Stars game on Saturday.
Yes.
Ethan Salas went 1-for-1 with a walk.
2 steals.
1-for-1 with a walk, 2 steals, and an RBI. Leo did not fare as well. 0-for-3 with 2 strikeouts,
What are you gonna
but
do?
then he got the home run playing in some game the next day.
Yes.
Guy hit a bomb in some game, and the play-by-play guy just changed his voice to be the color analyst.
It is fun to look at these guys and watch them. I mean, it is for Padres fans. You get to follow them along this part of their career, and then, most likely see them make the jump to the big leagues in the next year or two, and that'll be a lot of fun.
I mean, next year probably DeVries starts at Fort Wayne. I would guess Salas might start at Fort Wayne as well. Not to repeat the year there, but to start there and then jump quickly if he comes out raking, jump quickly to Double-A, and then they'd really make their assessment on him at that point. I don't expect to see either guy in a Padre uniform at any point in 2025, and it would be up to them to prove anyone wrong on that front. But I think 2026, it's a pretty decent chance. And Tyler in the chat says, yes, they're having Liga Dominicana games at the Arizona Spring Training Complexes. Okay. Sure, they're getting huge crowds based on that clip we just saw.
Okay, an Aztec football game on a Friday night.
I mean,
I was watching.
What were you watching?
Well, I mean, this was yesterday, right?
Yeah,
November 12th.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the right clip, right? Padres number 2 prospect Leo Dallas DeVries smacks a solo homer to left field for Peoria, his second of the Arizona Fall League. Are we sure he's in the? I don't know.
Yeah, because
he
the
hit a home run
javelinas
yesterday.
and the whatchamacallits.
Yes, you're right. Yes.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallits.
Okay. Well, that's on the MLB.com site. So
Here come the whatchamacallits.
good to see Leo hit a home run and continue improvement.
I will tell you, you don't even know when you read on these websites these days a recap, whether it was written by a human being or not. Today,
Don't let AI write your recap.
brother, I'm telling you, for the Sports Fix today, we're gonna have.
King.
I'll have the San Diego Clippers results for you today. Ain't nobody writing them recaps. I will tell you that right now, because when I found it, it was so just jumble AI, like AI jumble soup. It was. Oof.
That doesn't sound appetizing.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Not like
whoa.
Mitzi soup.
No,
definitely not.
Which is flavorful.
Maybe that's
Maybe
what gave you
exactly. That's the
stomach
soup
problem.
that gave you the stomach
that
issues.
could be it. That could be it. The word
The
salad.
AI jumble soup.
Yeah, it's just,
No wonder you were sleepless. You're like,
All right, to one other guy before we take a break, and that's Eggy Rosario. Eggy Rosario is down playing in the Dominican League, which means maybe he's in Arizona. I don't know. But nonetheless, he's playing in the Dominican Winter League. He's out of options.
Yes.
In 2025. So either he breaks camp with the Padres, or they expose him to waivers, or they trade him. Or they trade him.
So he's trying to put his best foot forward, and a strong winner would help him in a shot for maybe a bench job with the Padres, unless they're thinking of something a little bit more in the infield, or depending on how their roster shakes out. But I mean, this is it for him. He's got another team obviously can pick him up, or he can be traded. But if he's going to stay with the Padres, he's wanting to compete right here to show them that he can be a very productive player for them next season.
All right, which leads me to an uncomfortable question, but it's one that Sports Talk Radio is built for. Donovan Solano was a critical part of the 2024 team. They got him on a minor league deal. He came up from El Paso. He's 37 now, I think. But this guy has been a hitter every year. Every year he hits 285. Like, he's got a repeatable skill where next year I'm almost positive that Donovan Solano will hit 275 or better for some team in Major League Baseball. I think he's a perfect fit on the San Diego Padres roster as a right-handed complement to Luis Arraez, as someone who can play first base, can play third base, could probably play the other infield positions, certainly second in a pinch. But he's, speaking of pinch, good pinch hitter off the bench, good stand-in when someone was hurt. He played tremendous for a couple of months when he got to play every day. So you could probably still sign Donovan Solano next year for a not gigantic contract, because he got a minor league deal last year. You could probably sign him for $1 million, right?
Yeah.
But what's more valuable in 2025 to the Padres, Donovan Solano or Eggy Rosario? Probably Solano.
I would think it's Solano. I think that you got to look at what he was able to do last year, the veteran presence, who he was in the clubhouse, the fact that he is a smart hitter. 2-strike Solano. I mean,
Right.
That's when he is at his best. He doesn't really get spooked. I know that he had some down numbers, as many of them did, heading into the playoffs, and I think that just happens. I think that was more of a reflection of just kind of hitting a bad streak. But he's a good hitter, and he's shown it with his numbers in previous years, not just last year. I think you keep him. I mean, Eggy hitting 276. 300 on base percentage. He's got 1 homer through 9 games with the Estrellas to start his stay in the Dominican Winter League. But, and I don't know what his upside is. I thought we'd see him again last year at some point.
Yeah, and we never did.
And we never did. I don't know what, that makes me think maybe they are more targeting him to trade him or to package him somehow. Remember when he was working in the outfield?
Yeah.
I thought we'd be hearing some reports of he's working in the outfield. Maybe he's your left fielder. Maybe, if Jurickson Profar doesn't come back, maybe, who knows? But we really haven't been hearing that. It's been more just trying to get that offense built back up.
And that's why I asked that question, because for 2025, I think it's pretty clear Solano would be more advantageous to the Padres' chances of winning than having Eggy Rosario all year, even though Rosario definitely has more power. In very limited work, he's crushed left-handed pitching. Who's to say that he can do that on a full season? But, there's upside, and there's 6 years of control of Eggy Rosario, right? So
yes, and he's only 25. There is major upside with Eggy Rosario. The right development, you could be watching him. He could be one of the home run hitters, for a team. He could be at the tops. What makes me think twice with the Padres, too, is that they're not necessarily, they want power, but you've got guys on there that already signed contracts that can provide power. I think, really want more of the complement that Donovan Solano provides, which is line drives, gap to gap, moving the runners along, the whole foundation that the Padres offense has been stacked on.
Yeah. So it's a really difficult decision. And then if you go beyond that, if you say, okay, it's not Solano's spot that Eggy is going to take next year, okay, well then whose spot is it? Because he's not, and I don't think necessarily that Tyler Wade will be on the team next year. Who knows? But Tyler Wade was left-handed bat, pinch runner. He can play short, second, third, first, left, right, center field in a pinch. I think he literally did play center field one time last year. So, ready at a drop of a hat, ready for anything, like that type of super utility knife. Can Eggy handle that? He's never done that. He's never played short. Yeah. He's barely played second. Outfield has just been a little bit of a mystery. He's not left-handed. Would he be a valuable pinch runner? There's all these open questions. So I lean toward either the Padres carve a set spot for him, and maybe it does come at the expense of someone like a Solano, or he's out the door in a deal before spring training.
He might just not, what you just mentioned, he might just not be a fit in terms of their night, exactly like a spot available to him that makes a lot of sense. And maybe they're better off to go out and find that somehow through trade or on the free agent market. And they've got so many guys locked in already. But the years of control is what's interesting about him. Because if you are the Padres, you're looking at him and you're like, if you can get him to be the player that you're wanting, you got him for a long time, but that's also why he's lucrative in a trade. Yeah. Whatever team gets him has him.
All right, let's take our last time out of this hour. When we come back, you know what? I'm going to push the Juan Soto talk because here it is in 30 seconds. John Heyman is the mouthpiece of Scott Boras. He says that a series of teams are coming to interview with Boras and Soto this weekend, or this week, I should say, here in Southern California. I don't know why it's here in Southern. I guess that's where Boras's offices are.
Maybe.
Or in Orange County. I think they're in Orange County.
Didn't Soto keep a house here? I don't know if he did or not.
I think he did.
He may have.
Interesting. So the Blue Jays are supposed to be the first team in. They're literally supposed to be the first team making a presentation.
Can you imagine the Blue Jays, who's on the team plane? Who's
That's right.
off?
Right? I know.
Soto's on the
Shark
plane.
Tank on there?
They're going to try hard.
Hey, they missed out last year. I believe it. I think they will try hard.
They're going to try
Tradition,
hard.
unlike any other, every offseason to watch the Blue Jays and Giants almost sign the
Right.
top guy.
Yeah.
It'd be
Exactly.
I
hilarious.
give them credit for trying. They're going for it.
Yeah, they're
but
gonna try.
I don't know if Soto's going to want to go play in
And they'll be thrilled to
Toronto.
finish third.
Yeah.
Or are they pretending to
again.
go for it to make it look like they're to their fans that they're
Maybe.
trying?
Yeah. So that's what's happening, and those meetings will take place. And anytime Scott Boras wants to move the market, he'll send a little text or throw a little call John Heyman's way, and then the story will appear in the New York Post just like magic. Ta-da! And then he hangs up and he says to somebody, "It's almost like I could write it myself." And then ta-da! It appears.
And a bunch of puns.
This is going to be a lot of eyewash. Whoever's going to be in on him is going to go meet with him. They're all going to court him. They're all going to do the song and dance, and then all of that's going to be dropped to the media to put out there.
Right.
Try to drive the price up and the competition up and get other teams thinking that they got to move faster. All that good stuff.
I just hope we don't have to wait for him to sign before everybody else signs.
There will be some of that.
I know. Set the market.
There will be
BS.
some of that for sure. Because
Well, I gotta
Teoscar
wait.
will sign the day after, I think.
Right.
I really do. I think Teoscar is just going to be like, cool, make your call, and then I'll sign. I'll sign for the second place team that's the most disappointed. And maybe Teoscar will be a Blue Jay again. Who knows?
Is Teoscar on the plane?
The plane opens and it's Teoscar instead of Soto, and he's just like,
God, it's actually.
hey guys, what? You're not happy? What?
Teoscar.
I'm really good. What are you
Juan
talking
Soto's
about?
on the plane. I've been told that Teoscar Hernandez is with him on the plane. What? Blue Jays fans going nuts, and then it lands.
It's
in-
Guy Fieri. We screwed up.
Guy Fieri's doing a diners, drive-ins, and dives in Toronto.
Yeah. Sorry. Whoops. Didn't mean to.
Our bad.
Okay, so when we come back, there it is. There was your Juan Soto story. We didn't have to do 15 minutes on that.
No, it's fine.
When we come back, the NBA does beef better than most leagues. And if you didn't see it, this is going to be a fun one. You might want to jump in on the YouTube, too, if you haven't seen the actual highlights from yesterday's Bucks-Celtics throwdown. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jaylen Brown bringing NBA beef to Olympic levels. We bring you that when we come back on Annie and Elsten, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Back with you on Annie and Elsten. Did you know you can listen to 97.3 The Fan with your smart speaker? You can. Ask that thing, play 97.3 The Fan, and then it will. Try it. See what happens. All right. No one beefs better than the NBA. NBA is in this weird spot right now because it feels like half the league's superstars are injured at the beginning of the year. They just had a horrible, horrible week for massive injuries to star players over the weekend. We'll detail some of those in the fix coming up next segment. Two guys who are healthy and going head-to-head, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Jaylen Brown. The Bucks, who are having one of the most disappointing years in the association, hosted the Boston Celtics yesterday. The Celtics coming in with only 2 losses. The Beasts of the East, the three-point shooting mavens, right? The Bucks coming in at 2-7, trying to find their footing. So this was a huge game for Milwaukee. This was on Sunday, pardon me. On Sunday. Huge game Sunday for Milwaukee. And I've got links for you here, Braden, back to the 10:35 box to go in order from top to bottom because it starts in the second quarter. Bucks got off to a lead in the second. Giannis Antetokounmpo, of course, one of the most physical players in the NBA, almost impossible to stop, 7 foot, but he moves like a guard. And in this clip, which you're about to see, Annie, he is going to post up Jaylen Brown. He's going to, as he spins, inadvertently, elbow Brown in the chin/neck, score over him. Then the two guys go down the floor. And we can go ahead and roll the clip here. As you see, first Antetokounmpo pushes down Brown. Now, okay, elbows him, looks at him, goes down the floor. And then as the two are going back, there's a couple words exchanged. Brown's talking to Giannis. Giannis holds out his hand like, okay, friends, psych. And he does the dipsy-do on him. He holds out his hand and then he goes, nope. And he combs his hair, so to speak, smooths his hair. Instead, the childhood prank, right? Hey, friends, psych.
Yeah, we all did it in 7th grade.
Yeah. And Brown, here we sing it one more time. There's here you go, friends. Nope. Oh, little smile, little laugh. Then he reaches out, and Brown just waves him off like, give me a break. So that happens in the second quarter. Here's what happens in the fourth quarter. This is Giannis driving. This is now a very close game. Pow! Brown just goes right into his chest with 2 elbows extended, slams him to the floor. So, little retaliation there. Insult to the injury, of course, Celtics win the game. After the game, Jaylen Brown asked about, this is where it gets fun, asked about it, and here's what he had to say.
Giannis hit you with the offensive foul, and then he fake shook your hand and pulled it back. Are you laughing at that? Do you think it's funny, or does that kind of piss you off?
Giannis is a child. I'm just focused on helping my team get a win, and that's what we did tonight.
Giannis is a child.
I mean, Giannis is known for being a bit of a punk, in a funny way, like a jokester, a guy who goes around and does this stuff all sorts of times, right? Like this is who he is on the team. And then I think Jaylen's a little grumpy still from the Olympics thing and wanting to motivate himself.
Yes.
Wanting to motivate being snubbed for the Olympics, and he's just not having any jokes right now.
Okay, so that's what Jaylen said, right? Post-game. Also post-game, here's Giannis at the regular press conference, and he's, as you can see the clip that we've got queued up, he's got a smile. He thought the whole thing was funny. The Bucks did lose. He had 43 points, 15 rebounds. He had a monster game. He praised Jaylen in this press conference, said that Jaylen Brown's a great player, and I was just having a good time.
Because he's a prankster.
Right, and then here's the clip of him finding out what Jaylen had to say, calling him a child.
30 in the second half.
He took offense to it. Why do you say that?
He was asked about it after the game, and he said, "Giannis is a child. I'm just focused."
Oh, that's what he said.
Get a win. That's what we did tonight. He later said he had a really good game and stuff like that. That was his response.
Oh, well, he said I was a child.
Giannis is a child. I'm just focused on helping my team get a win. That's what we did. He was complimentary about your performance.
I thought that I gave him a compliment and he was just going down. But at the same time, this is who I am. I play the game with fun, joy. I try to surround myself around young people so I can stay young myself. I try to be around my kids a lot, my nieces. And sometimes I might, go out there on the, at times on the court when I play, do stuff like that. But at the end of the day, as I said, I think he's an incredible player. He always does the right thing to help his team win. But I'm just going to continue to be me. And at the end of the day, if I'm called a child, so be it. I have 3 children of my own, and I think 6 nieces. So I take care of a lot of kids around here. So sometimes when you're around the kids, you try to act like a kid. It's fun. It's fun to be around them. So I just try to go out there and have fun. But again, great player, great competitor. If I have another opportunity, I'll do it again.
Oh, okay. So he'll do the okie doke one more time. But
I think it's who he is. I think he's a prankster, has fun with things. I think if you're the other team, you don't think it's as funny. But then also, is he getting in your head? Is he messing with you a little? Because then that's on you.
right. Hey,
But they lost, right? I mean, the Bucks lost.
Bucks lost.
Yeah.
Bucks lost. And there's been talk, because Giannis created the talk before the season started, that if things go wrong in Milwaukee this year, that probably by next year Giannis could be on a different team. That things could change up. And guess what? He's smiling through another horrible loss for the Bucks, which he dominated. I mean, he was tremendous.
Yeah.
So
he had a good game.
Yeah, he had a great game.
Right.
So I mean, it's not like, oh, Giannis cost his team the game by doing some silly dipsy-do, but still, it's kind of a funny spot that Jaylen Brown winning is the one with the sullen, dark eyes going, Giannis is a child. I just try to win.
I think he's grumpy. He's got to prove that he was worthy of making that Olympic team. He's not up to the hijinks right now. He just wants to play and let his game do the talking.
But listen, I'm here to say this stuff is great. This stuff is great.
Yeah.
You don't get what you used to get. I mean, again, second time I'm referencing watching that show, The Comeback, on Netflix, but like Pedro looking at Jorge Posada in the dugout and pointing to his temple going like, Pepperidge Farm remembers, and so does Pedro Martinez. I'm coming after you next. And them jaw-jacking, and then after the game going, well, I guess the Yankees need to call me their daddy. Like, that's the kind of back and forth that makes sports fun. And the NBA is actually really good at this. And having superstars that are going into each other's chests and elbowing each other and then doing fake handshakes and, oh, psych, and, and then everyone yelling at each other and getting mad. This is beef. Beef is fun. Beef leads to another exciting matchup down the road the next time these teams play one another. And I mean, I'm here for all of it.
Yeah. You look forward to it, and you look forward to, like you said, playing each other again and what might happen. And then so much of it gets made now. Back in the old days, it wasn't like a viral thing, and now it becomes viral and everybody weighs in on it. So, gets the tensions a little higher, which is good. It's competitive.
Yeah, great stuff happening in the NBA over the weekend. Lakers home winning a couple of games. Things are flowing. We'll get you up to date on the fix here momentarily. Also, just wanted to note in the 2 minutes we have left in the hour, our beloved Lions, huge win yesterday.
Major comeback win.
That was, I mean, I was watching this game, Annie. Jared Goff threw 5 picks in a hurry.
I mean, that coming down to that field goal, I mean, and then from as far as it was, that was a great game. It just ended awesome.
Yeah, Kai Fairbairn misses from 58.
Yes.
Bates hits from 52 to win it. Goff is out there. He's on such a howler that even when he completes a pass, like every pass that came out of his hand was like boop, 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 wobbling end to end. And yet they find just enough plays to get the job done.
Yeah, that was an exciting game. A lot of, kicker controversy and long snapper controversy. And did you see the 49ers one with
Yes.
Deebo Samuel lighting him up and then the long snapper jumping in? But then they ended up winning too. So a lot of controversy with the special teams players in the NFL.
Well, Kansas City wins on a blocked field goal.
Right.
They were supposed to lose the game. Broncos were supposed to get that win, and they win it on a blocked field goal. I feel like both the Lions and the Chiefs. They have to be at the top of the NFL power rankings.
Yeah.
But honestly, both have shown me enough vulnerability that I could easily see either one of them not make the Super Bowl.
I think, well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's so much parity right now in the NFL that it's hard to tell. I mean, the Lions and the Chiefs are both obviously at the very top, but you wonder, right, what in the playoffs, like what might come back to haunt them. But I don't know. They're both pretty darn good. I mean, they've been fun to watch, both teams.
No, they're terrific teams. They're definitely the best regular season teams. And I would never bet against the Chiefs.
But what will carry over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still, for all my love for our beloved Lions.
I mean, you don't want to throw that many picks when you're the quarterback ever.
Goff.
Right? Goff.
Big game Goff. I just don't know.
You want to hope that was one and done for your bad game.
I know. I mean, the other game he completed every pass.
Yeah,
but this game he completed every pass to the other team. We'll get you all of the weekend's info in the Sports Fix next. It's 12 o'clock on Tuesday. Lunch hour begins, and we hit the midway point of Annie and Elsten, your midday hang on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan, with Annie Halbron and Braden Suprenant. Craig Elsten here with you. We've got an entire weekend's, 3-day weekend's worth of sports news to parcel out to you in digestible form. And here we go with the 12 o'clock Sports Fix. We got all the news that's fit to speak for Tuesday, November 12th, 2024. It's your 12 o'clock Sports Fix. It gets started with Annie and the baseball report. What's up?
Yes, and since there is so much to get to in this Sports Fix, I will go ahead and skip the Roki, Sasaki, and Mike Schilt / Jackson Merrill, Manager of the Year finalist and Rookie of the Year finalist. Go back and listen to the first 2 hours of our show, and you can hear all that. Let's start with the Miami Marlins, who are hiring Los Angeles Dodgers first base coach Clayton McCullough as their next manager. At least according to reports, this concludes the franchise's search to replace 2023 National League Manager of the Year Skip Schumacher. McCullough has been a member of the Dodgers organization for a decade. He worked with now Marlins assistant GM Gabe Kapler in the organization's player development system before spending the last 4 seasons on Dave Roberts' staff, and this will be the 44-year-old's first job as a skipper at the big league level. The Cincinnati Reds are leaving Diamond Sports Group. They will need a new television home for 2025, according to a court filing Friday evening. The Reds and Diamond, which operates FanDuel-branded regional sports networks, agreed to part ways after they could not reach a renegotiated deal. The Reds agreed to sell their stake in FanDuel for $1 per the filing. It wasn't immediately clear whether they will join the 6 other teams whose games will be broadcast and produced by MLB in 2025, or whether the Reds will pursue other options. They declined comment. The report is back for Tropicana Field, which was damaged by Hurricane Milton. Deep within the 412-page assessment report for it, there appears to be 2 main points. One, they are saying that the needed repairs can be done in time for the Rays' 2026 season. 26 season.
So no 25.
That's
No
what
25.
I saw. That's right?
That is correct.
Okay. And
We're just emphasizing the fact that they will not be able to play in Tampa this year.
Yes.
Tampa, not in Tampa.
And so then if they are to come back in 2026 at Tropicana Field, the price tag will cost a little more than $55 million to repair. So now the city council must decide if they want to invest that, since they are already building a new stadium to be ready by the 2028 season for the Rays. My money will be that they will vote no, but
I also
see.
saw that some of the bonds, I think it was in Cup of Coffee today, that some of the bonds for the Rays Stadium are in doubt. So maybe even the 2028 new stadium is in doubt.
Right. If you got hotel
Yeah.
tax, like we talked about on the show, going towards the new stadium,
Maybe
and
they
the
just-
hotels are all damaged and can't have people show up to the hotels to pay hotel tax, it's a lot of funding that is not going to this new stadium.
Or maybe
in
they
time.
do end up fixing up Tropicana Field and then just staying
Going
there.
back?
Yeah, going back.
This is their get out of jail free card
That's
to
true.
go around, see what's open,
Yeah.
see what's out there.
Yeah. Oakland Rays. No, I'm just kidding.
That'd be the funniest thing. Hey, we talked about it with the A's needing somewhere to play. San Diego Rays for a year.
What if
You'd have a game at Petco Park every
what if the
day.
Rays actually came up with a real proposal and they just moved to Vegas and just
Yeah.
just
if they
snuck in under
snuck
Oakland?
in. Oh,
snuck in
yeah.
under Oakland.
I could see that happening.
That would be
now,
pretty
I
sick.
don't ever advocate, none of us like relocation for any
No,
teams,
correct.
But,
No, but-
it might be on the table.
If it were to happen
Yeah.
there,
That'd be funny.
it'd be pretty funny.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty funny.
Yeah. And then they get the new stadium right on the corner there.
No, really, you could build it.
Didn't
Just you needed
Tropicana
money.
Field, did the Tropicana
Yeah, they
get torn down?
knocked
so
down
they
the
can,
yeah.
So how ironic would that be?
That the team left
Trop.
Tropicana Field.
That
And
got
then
torn
and
down.
then got a new stadium built on the site where the
Other Trop
other Trop was
Other
torn
was
down.
torn down.
Yeah.
Multiple Trops torn down for the betterment of the Rays.
That would be something.
That would be.
Any more baseball from you?
I don't know.
Okay, over to Braden.
NFL news for you. A couple of stories, and I'll be back with high school and college after Craig. Shane Waldron, the offensive coordinator for the Bears, has been fired less than 10 months after being hired for the job. The Bears announced the firing Tuesday, one day after head coach Matt Eberflus promised changes and adjustments for the struggling Bears. Passing game coordinator Thomas Brown has been promoted to offensive coordinator. After evaluating our entire operation, I decided that it is the best interest of our team to move in a different direction with the leadership of our offense, Matt Eberflus said in a statement released by the team. This decision was well thought out, one that was conducted deliberately and respectfully. I would like to thank Shane for his efforts and wish him the best moving forward. The Bears have not changed offensive coordinators in the middle of the season since Perry Moss became Chicago's first designated OC in 1970. Waldron had come under heavy scrutiny in Chicago due to the offense's overall performance and recent struggles of rookie quarterback Caleb Williams. Bears, who are 4-5, have lost 3 straight games, scoring a total of just 27 points over that stretch, and are averaging just 277 yards per game this season, the third lowest in the National Football League. Waldron was hired by the Bears in January of last year of this year after spending his previous 3 seasons as the OC for the Seahawks. He replaced Luke Getsy, who was fired after 2 seasons in Chicago, but then became the OC for the Raiders, only to be fired earlier this month. So not a lot of good offense rolling around through the Chicago Bears organization. Good news for the Chiefs. They might be getting a little bit better here in the near future. Chiefs designated running back Isaiah Pacheco and defensive end Charles Omenihu to return to practice this week, source said, freeing them to play as soon as Sunday's game against the Bills in Buffalo. Pacheco, the Chiefs' leading rusher the past 2 seasons, had been on the injured reserve list since early in the season with a broken fibula. Omenihu tore his ACL in last season's AFC Championship game and hasn't played this year. Both will be with the Chiefs at practice on Wednesday, the source said, and the Chiefs will have a 3-week window to move them to the active roster. Good news for Kansas City, potentially, with some players coming back. And that's it for the NFL. We'll be back with college and high school, but first, here's Craig.
With a potpourri of various leagues, starting with our local teams that are in action right now. The San Diego Gulls were on the road in Tucson, taking on the Roadrunners this weekend, and they split. They lost on Saturday night 5-2, then won Sunday afternoon 4-2. The Gulls are 4-8 on the season. They play Wednesday night in San Jose, then come home Saturday to host Bakersfield. The San Diego Clippers opened their G League season with a pair of wins over Rip City Remix Friday night and Sunday afternoon at the new Front Wave Arena in Oceanside. The first ever San Diego Clippers game, which was pretty well attended, saw the team officially name their floor Bill Walton Court.
Oh, that's cool.
Then they beat the Portland affiliate Rip City Remix 122-107. On Sunday, the Clippers' Kobe showed up, Kobe Brown. He scored 30 points. San Diego won 137-121. The opening homestand continues for the Clippers on Thursday when the Valley Suns come calling for a 7 o'clock tip-off. By the way, all Clippers home games are being televised on YourView. So if you can figure out, yeah, YourView.
You can watch that.
Yeah.
Darvish's View? Use View?
Use View.
Oh, okay.
On YouView. Yeah, they go to the website and they'll ask you for an email, and then they never send the email, but then you come back later and it works. I don't know. But it worked for me the other day. So, your view. Over to the NBA. NBA Cup. Let's go. It starts tonight.
Lakers trying to defend their trophy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The NBA Cup begins, which means that finally we'll see an end to the ads, the ubiquitous ads that are running with the Ocean's 11 Get Up and what's the actor that played Chris Moltisanti? Him and Rosario Dawson.
Yes.
Clinking glasses. The action will be hot on the court, and it's heating up. The NBA Cup. Well, in case you forgot, these are the parameters of the NBA Cup. The NBA has been divvied up World Cup style into 6 groups of 5, 3 groups from each conference. And now, every Tuesday and Friday, starting tonight, and every Tuesday, Friday until December 3rd, there will be group play games. Those games count in both the regular season standings and in the NBA Cup standings. The teams will have on different uniforms. The courts change. The courts look a little better than they did last year. They're pretty snazzy. To continue to kind of give you the FYI, the Clippers are in West Group A with the Wolves, Rockets, Blazers, and Kings. The Lakers, defending Cup champions, are in West Group B with the Suns, Spurs, Thunder, and Jazz. The top 8 teams move on to the quarterfinals. Then the semis and the finals will be in Las Vegas, December 14th and 17th. And whoever wins the Cup, each member of the team, organization, player, staff, everyone gets $500,000 each.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Win that, and you don't just get the cup, you get the cash. So that's nice, especially if you're like a rookie.
Yeah.
You get 500. Or how about the assistant athletic trainer?
I mean,
Or-
sounds good to me.
Yeah, or the PR guy getting $500K. Like everyone gets it.
Why don't our contests here, like our fantasy football or Super Bowl, why don't they offer $500,000 to the winner?
Not enough money.
Oh, okay.
Emirates aren't sponsoring the
maybe that's what we
97.3 The
need.
Fan
Right.
Fantasy League. But if they did,
Yeah.
everyone on the winning team would get $500,000.
Amazing.
Tonight, 8 games on the NBA Cup courts, including Knicks-Sixers, where Joel Embiid is expected to make his season debut. He has been out all year until now. However, injuries in the NBA have really, really been a problem. They've been a problem. It's just been a bad luck draw the first 3 weeks of the National Basketball Association. Injuries to stars continuing to cripple the start of the season. The latest is Thunder star center Chet Holmgren. He jumped up to try and block a shot, got not low bridged, but lost his balance. He fell hard on his hip, and he broke his pelvis. Lordy.
Ouch.
22, and you have a broken pelvis. He's out multiple months. Also last weekend, Ja Morant, Zion Williamson, Kevin Durant all took injuries, all went to the injured list. Really lousy weekend for injuries.
Yeah.
On the ice of the NHL, the mighty Winnipeg Jets put their league best 14-1 record on the line this afternoon when they take on the New York Rangers at the Garden. That's one of 7 games tonight. Yesterday, the Kings lost to Calgary 3-1. Sunday, the Ducks beat Columbus 4-2. Last thing for me, the MLS Cup playoff update. Biggest possible upset for the league happened over the weekend. Not what the league wanted, as Atlanta United beat Inter Miami 3-2 in Florida, sending Lionel Messi and the Supporters Shield winners to the sidelines. You're done. No trophy for Inter Miami this year. Eastern Conference overall was a bloodbath. Their top 3 seeds all lost in the opening round. The semifinals will pit Orlando against Atlanta, which was the 9 seed. And New York City FC, the 6 seed, will take on the 7 seed, which is Red Bull New York. So New York will have one team in the conference final either way. The Western side, a little more to order. LAFC got past Vancouver 1-0 in their third and deciding game. They will take on Seattle in the Western semi. The other Western semi will pit the Galaxy against Minnesota. So there is a chance for an El Tráfico conference final in MLS if LAFC and LA Galaxy each win in the quarters. They could face each other in the semis. That's it for me. Back to Braden for college and high school news.
We'll start with college. We got 3 college basketball games tonight in town. All 3 of the men's basketball programs will play tonight in San Diego, and they will all tip off at the exact same time. San Diego State plays host to Occidental tonight at 7 o'clock at Viejas Arena. Portland State will take on the San Diego Toreros at the Jenny Craig Pavilion tonight at 7 o'clock on ESPN+. And UC San Diego, the Tritons,
Let's go, Tritons,
are going to play host to Sacramento State tonight at 7 o'clock, also on ESPN+ at Lion Tree Arena.
A lot of action.
Yeah,
If
Tritons
you
kicked
want-
Pepperdine's ass. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Oh, look at
Blew
you.
him out like 18, 19 three-pointers. Like just.
Hey.
So if you want to watch college basketball
Coach
tonight,
Owen.
you got a lot of options. San Diego State Occidental, USD Portland State, UCSD. and Sacramento State. Other college news for you. The USC football program has been fined $50,000, which is less than probably how much all their players make,
Right.
and placed on a 1-year probation due to violation of, quote, on and off-field coaching activities. The NCAA announced Tuesday, after conducting an investigation, the NCAA found that USC exceeded the permissible number of countable coaches by 6 during the 2022 and 2023 seasons. Their analysts, who are not supposed to have any type of on-field contact or coaching with players, had on-field contact and coached players during spring ball in the fall a couple of times.
Whoopsie.
Which you can't do because there's a limit on how many coaches you can have to make it equitable to everybody in college athletics. Anyway, with the $50,000 fine and the probation, had a couple other violations, or should I say penalties, for this particular violation that really isn't anything when you read it, so I'm not going to continue to talk about it. But if you think it's a big deal, they got put on probation. I don't even know what that means in the NCAA anymore. They're still eligible for the postseason. There's a lot of other things. Lincoln Riley is he gets the responsibility as he's the head coach, but there will be nothing in terms of punishment to said head coach. So it's a nothing burger. Did you see Georgia lose to Ole Miss this weekend? Anybody
I
see
watched
that?
a little
I
bit
did
of that
not.
game. It was played in an absolute pissing downpour.
It was. Ole Miss won. They ended up getting fined $350,000 for storming the field. But during the storming of the field,
In the rain.
after the game,
In the storm.
hotty toddy, everybody's excited. Backup safety for Georgia, Jake Pope, ran into some of his old high school friends
I
who
saw
go to
this
Ole
story.
Miss. And he was happy to see them. You could see him kind of on video jumping and, excited with his Ole Miss friends that he has.
Reuniting.
Kind of looks like he's celebrating the win for Ole Miss. I mean, it's neither here nor there.
He's in the Georgia uniform.
He's still in
dancing
uniform and
with
pads.
like some fans wearing Ole Miss gear.
Right, from his high
Doesn't look
school.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But they're like his mates who he
Right,
hasn't
they're
seen
his
in years,
friends.
and they run into each other on the field.
Reuniting.
Yeah.
with
Whoa,
some
hey, I
buddies.
can't believe I saw you.
Right.
Oh, my God. It's so great to see you.
Yeah.
Georgia coach Kirby Smart called backup safety Jake Pope's action, quote, just stupid after the players were caught seemingly celebrating with the Ole Miss fans on the field in the wake of the Rebels' 28-10 victory
I'm
over the
happy when I see my
Bulldogs.
friends.
Right. Smart, speaking during a news conference Monday, told reporters that Pope was celebrating with friends from Buford High School in Georgia. Quote, what an idiot. I mean, just stupid. I didn't see it until today, but he's embarrassed about it. He's upset about it. That's obviously a childhood friend of his that he grew up and played with there at Buford, and he knows him. Hadn't seen him in forever, but just not real smart. Quote, to be honest with you, I don't have time to waste energy on that. My focus is on Tennessee. I'm not worried about that.
His coach said, "What an idiot!"
Yeah. Called him an idiot.
Which is funny because
Oh,
he had not said
come
that
on,
about any
dude.
of his players that have had major traffic violations, including some serious
Right.
issues. The kid put out a long apology of a statement in which people have said, why is this a bigger deal for
Why-
Georgia than their
why?
other problems that they have had?
Yes.
I
Which is interesting.
wash.
Eyewash. I don't think they really care over at Georgia about this particular instance. Obviously, he was probably irritated that he was asked about the question. Kirby
Maybe
Smart
it's 'cause
was.
They don't talk about other things, and they decided that this one would be the one that
This will be the one that they ask
Yeah,
about.
This will be the safe one that they can answer.
Right.
Right.
So, well, the backup safety is an idiot, according to Kirby Smart, and they
Great.
have moved on. They're on to
Thanks,
Tennessee. We'll see what Georgia does against Tennessee. High school football for you. Had some great games in the playoffs because the rating system is great. I don't know why we pissed off Ned Freeman, but we did as a county. That is neither here nor there. That is a different story for a different day. But that being said, do you remember how many teams made the postseason, you guys, that were 0-10 in high school football?
Like a bunch of them.
There's three. Three
Saints, right?
schools. It was Saints, it was Mira Mesa, and it was Fallbrook. They all went 0-10
And made the postseason.
and made the postseason. Two of those three schools won on Friday.
What?
St. Augustine beat La Jolla Country Day 16-0. They are advancing in the postseason,
Some
in
major
the Division
upsets.
3 postseason. They were actually favored in the game by
Okay.
CalPreps.com,
All right.
and they won. Yes, because, again, the ratings determine a lot more than just wins and losses about who you played. Saints was a favorite. They ended up winning against La Jolla Country Day. Mira Mesa went 0-10. They upset Sweetwater, but again, they were the higher seed, so they really they were the favorite. They ended up winning. They will take on Grossmont. The last school, Fallbrook, lost to Monte Vista by 1 point. So the 3-0-10 schools, 2 of them won, 1 of them lost by 1 point, and advanced to the next round of the playoffs. We will have 22 games coming up on Friday. Should be some great ones. Cal Preps correctly predicted 80% of the games that were played last Friday. We should have some really good ones coming up. All of the games coming up on Friday, according to calpreps.com, are projected to be one-score games or like 7 points or less in terms of tightness for all of these games. So it should be a fun weekend, and almost like you realize that calpreps.com actually knows what they're doing.
Yeah, it seems like maybe the coaches were full of it and the computer was pretty good.
Correct. I have seen emails now from Ned Freeman to San Diego coaches about how basically San Diego is not going to get his ratings anymore. So we screwed it up. And we're going to have to do some major PR moves to try to continue to use this rating system that is great and has always been at a very high success rate. But that's neither here nor there. And that's it for the high school football.
Appreciate you, man. Just want to say on the way out on the Sports Fix, shout out to the family of John Robinson, who passed away at the age of 89. One of the coaches that when I was a kid growing up was a big part of my childhood because when I was a young kid, he was the head coach at USC. And then when I was more like junior high school, he was the head coach of the Rams, which is a team that when I was in high school in Long Beach, I was rooting for, were the John Robinson Rams. He was Eric Dickerson's head coach.
Yeah.
He was Jim Everett's head coach for that first year when they went to the NFC Championship game. He later went back to USC, had a winning record every year he was there. He was a television commentator for many years. And then when he was 75, he turned up on the sidelines at San Marcos High School calling defensive plays.
Yeah, living in San Diego, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So a great football mind, a key
Amazing.
coach in the 1980s and 90s in both college and the NFL, and then an announcer for probably 20 years after that.
What a career.
Yeah, great career. John Robinson, so shout out and farewell, passing away after a great life at the age of 89. All right, when we come back, Jerry Jones knows damn well where the sun is in Dallas on game days. He just doesn't do anything to fix it. That story, which is quite funny, when we come back. Andy and Elsten, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Hey, San Diego sports fans, head to your local Buffalo Wild Wings. Try their new maple chipotle sauce for rich maple sweetness and a mild, smoky chipotle heat. Or for a bit of a kick, check out the new Cajun sauce for a rich blend of spicy, tangy pepper sauce. Stop by your San Diego B-Dubs or order now for takeout and delivery with Buffalo Wild Wings Go. Jerry Jones is funny.
Do you know where the sun is, Craig?
I know where the sun is.
Do you know where it rises and where it sets? Because Jared Goff doesn't.
Oh, yeah? He doesn't know that it rises in the east and sets in the west?
No, he got that wrong when they asked him on Hard Knocks when he was with the Rams. And I was like, that guy went to Berkeley?
Yeah. They're not teaching what they used to.
That's right.
They don't teach them like they used to, let me tell you.
They don't teach the common knowledge stuff anymore, and they just assume people have common knowledge.
No, they don't.
Does Jerry
Everyone's just
Jones
Googling
know? I don't think Jerry Jones knows where it rises and where it sets based on where he built his stadium.
Great question. All right, couple links here in the 1220 box on our rundown, Braden. So let's start with the context, okay? The Jerry World, the AT&T Dome, has certain areas where there are giant windows to the outside.
Have you guys been there?
I have not been there.
I have not been there.
I have been there multiple times. It's a wonderful stadium, and I still think it's the best in the National Football League. But those gigantic windows are incredibly blinding at certain times of the day.
Right.
At certain times of the season, as somebody that has been there a couple of times. It is definitely way more enjoyable to go to games there when it's cloudy outside or when it's at night.
So, for context, there are many, many events at the AT&T Dome.
Yes.
Many, many events at AT&T Stadium.
Many that use curtains.
And at those events, when the sun is going to shine through and potentially impact play on the field, curtains are used to block out those windows.
Concerts, basketball games,
right.
Other events.
Anything else, other college football games, other games, period. And that first link.
I'm trying to remember if the Big 12 Championship had those. I don't think they. I don't
good
know.
question.
I don't think they did, but they play at 9 in the morning, so it's or 11 in the morning out there. So I don't think it's a necessary thing. Plus, it's always cloudy when that game happens.
So that first link in 1220 is just to show, and we can show it for the people on YouTube, that there are plenty of times and plenty of events where light isn't blasting through the windows. This was a BetMGM clip. So there you see.
What event is this?
Dr. Pepper's up there, so maybe the Big 12 Championship?
Oh, that's up there all the time.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. That could be a concert, I guess, too. I mean, it could be a lot of things.
It could be. But then
Rodeo.
next slide is what it looks like for a Cowboy game.
Warren Sharp tweeting out that the stadium blinds its own players.
Yes. So now to link number 2 to show you what happened Sunday. What happened Sunday? CeeDee Lamb is open for a touchdown on a crossing pattern in the end zone. And his name, Cooper Rush, right?
Yes.
Throws it right out, and Lamb can't see it.
But it's like right there for the taking.
It's right there. If he sees it, he's going to reach out and grab it. And then he shows, hey, I can't see. He points and he goes, I couldn't see. I couldn't even see the ball.
That's tough with shadow. That was a shadow ball to light ball, like we usually have to deal with at certain times of the year at Petco Park. Plus, he's wearing a visor, which is probably not helping his cause either. But
But if he could have seen it, that was an easily catchable ball.
Oh, yeah, that's a touchdown.
You know when
every
you're
time.
driving and you can't see through the light is hitting it just
Yeah.
so, and you're like, I hope I don't run anyone over right now.
When you're driving on 56 West.
Yes.
It is a
at certain times of the year.
scary feeling,
Gotta
yes.
pull that blinder down.
But it only does so much.
And it doesn't
Right.
help you out that much.
So that's the context, okay, on Sunday. The Cowboys, who stink, get blown out at home again.
They are bad.
And
They're not
CeeDee
good.
Lamb, their star player, the guy that, with the new contract, everything else, CeeDee Lamb misses the ball in the end zone because the curtains aren't put down at the AT&T Dome when they are put down for other events, but they're not put down specifically for afternoon Cowboys games. And as a result, the team is embarrassed.
I think a lot of those events bring their own curtains because I don't think I've ever seen them there. Like at all. So I think those events have
I guarantee you
their
they are
curtains
there.
hanging.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guarantee you they're there.
Because some Dallas stations say AT&T Stadium has put up curtains for other events, but just
Right.
not the Cowboys. But maybe it's a extra addition. But I would imagine that they have to have the ability to do that.
So after the game, talking to reporters, Jerry Jones was frustrated when he was asked about the sun. And he said, quote, "By the way, we know where the sun is going to be when we decide to flip the coin or not. We do know where the damn sun is going to be in our own stadium." He was asked the question, why not put up curtains over the windows? Hey, why not, not do that thing that blinds your receiver? Quote, "Well, let's tear the damn stadium down and build another one. Are you kidding me? Everybody has got the same thing. Every team that comes in here has the same issues. I'm saying the world knows where the sun is. You get to know that almost a year in advance. Someone asked me about the sun. What about the sun? Where's the moon?"
Where's the moon?
Where is the moon, Jerry? The moon's in the sky, buddy.
Evan Grant.
He was so mad. He was so annoyed by all of this.
Evan Grant had the records for the Cowboys based on certain times at AT&T. They are 48-25 at AT&T Stadium for kickoffs before 3 p.m. and after 7 p.m. starts. So if they got a kickoff that's earlier in the day, before the sun's right there in their face, right? Those 1 o'clock kicks that they get when they play in the morning, they do very well. Or if they play at night, they do very well. When they play in that late window of an NFL Sunday, when they start at 3:30 or 3 to 6 range, they are 29-29 at AT&T Stadium.
Wow.
That's pretty insane. That stadium's been around for a long time now. They're 500 when they play in the late window at home, and they are 48-25 when they play in the morning window or they play at night.
Well, Jerry Jones says, and he's right, it is a home field advantage. But when the sun is in the other team's eyes, the only thing is you can't guarantee that based on where you're going to be on the field, who wins the coin toss, whatever. You can't guarantee that the other team's going to be getting the worst of it.
Well,
so
it's for both teams. I mean, they could, the other side of this, because I think it's funny making fun of Jerry Jones. I think it's really funny. But at the same time, like, the Cowboys could use this to their advantage where they know how to handle it, and then it's a problem for the other team all the time. But instead, they're making excuses, with the sun. And this is always the case in years that they're very bad. And this year, they're very, very bad. They have no run game whatsoever. Their offensive line is not where it used to be. They spent a lot of money on, Dak to stay around and CeeDee Lamb. They might have to lose Micah Parsons, who's been hurt for the majority of the season. Dak Prescott's now out for the year. I mean, there's a lot of problems that they have, more so than just playing at 3:30 on a Sunday afternoon. But the thing that I find hilarious with this is the whole, we refuse to put curtains up for, this window. I mean, they like having it be an indoor-outdoor kind of stadium
he wants
feel.
It to feel like the outdoors.
He said that before. Do that for the morning games when you have the 1 o'clock starts. Do that for the night games. You can look outside and see the night of the around the area of Arlington. And then for the 3 o'clock games, at least until the sun goes down, why don't you just put the curtains up?
Seriously.
I feel like there's a compromise here in the middle somewhere, but he's so stubborn, and the media likes going after him that it's like this. We're making this such a major problem that it really needs to be. Jerry, hang the curtains at 3:30.
I just love that he's like, "Do you know where the moon is?"
Yeah. I'm
his answers are so they're very Boris-like. He has Jerry Jones isms.
He does
in his answers.
We got to go to break, but as the old fart on the show, I remember the decline of Al Davis.
Yes.
And I remember watching Raiders games and seeing the coverage of the Raiders and just understanding fundamentally that they would never win jack you-know-what until Al Davis was gone.
Same case. It's the same.
It is. This is so if you weren't old enough to experience post-1983 LA/Oakland Raiders football, where they just kept talking about 1983 for 35 years as they did absolutely nothing under Davis's fading leadership, increasingly getting more idiosyncratic, increasingly putting his thumb on the scale and, drafting the 11th wide receiver in the first round and so on and so forth. Well, just see what's going on with the Cowboys and you understand exactly what's going on.
And it's going to be the same thing with the kids. He has his kids running stuff, like after him. It's the same thing as the Raiders with Mark Davis running stuff. When's the last time the Raiders were good? 2002?
Seriously.
When they were here and they got smoked in the Super Bowl?
I mean,
that was the last time. And they haven't been good since. And it's going to be the same thing with the Cowboys.
That's correct.
It's hard to fire the general manager when he also owns the ball club.
When he's the owner. All right, when we come back, it's time for our first silly game of the week. We do it every single day, third segment of the 12 o'clock hour. We give you a chance to get locked in on a big-time prize. And this month, we are heading toward an end-of-the-month drawing for a 2-night stay at Westgate, Las Vegas, 2 tickets to see The Soul of Motown, and a $150 food and beverage credit. Tickets at WestgateResorts.com. Today's silly game is Mind the Gap. It's the game of multi-generational trivia. It is the game where you take me on head-to-head, and you need to answer a question for a boomer, for a Gen Xer, for a millennial, and for a Gen Z. And if you can do it faster than me, you are qualified for the grand prize drawing. So we'll take a contestant on the line at 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. That's the number to use to call in. Braden will pick a contestant during the break. We'll come back. We'll play Mind the Gap next. San Diego's #1 sports station is 97.3 The Fan. Welcome back, everybody. It is 12:45. That is our daily silly game time. Want to let you know that the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino features newly designed premier rooms, part of their $70 million room renovations, home of legendary Vegas fun. The award-winning Soul of Motown is a high-energy concert-style musical tribute celebrating Motown legends, a must-see show during your Las Vegas vacation getaway. Tickets at WestgateResorts.com. We are going to be qualifying somebody, potentially, to be in our end-of-the-month grand prize drawing for a 2-night stay at Westgate Las Vegas, 2 tickets to Soul of Motown, and a $150 food and beverage credit. We do it today playing the game of multi-generational trivia known as Mind the Gap. And today's contestant, joining us from San Marcos, it's Trevor. Hello, Trevor. Welcome to...
Hello, how are you?
Welcome to the show, man. We're doing great. Thank you for calling in. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we play.
First-time caller, long-time listener. I love baseball. Been a fan my whole 25 years of life. And I've been a Scrabenator day one on his radio show.
Nice.
Well, good to hear that, Trevor the Scrabenator. Let's hope that you are all sauced up on trivia and ready to roll, because today's game is Mind the Gap. Here's how it's going to work, Trevor. You are going to get to go first, and then we will alternate going back and forth. There are 4 different decks of trivia that our quizmaster, Braden Soprenet, has. First deck is for boomers. Second deck is for Generation X. Third deck's for millennials. Fourth one is for Gen Z. You're going to pick one of those buckets. You're going to get a trivia question from it. If you get it right, you've cleared that category. If you get it wrong, I have the opportunity to try and jump in and steal. And same thing for me. If I'm going for a category you haven't cleared and I get it wrong, you can jump in and steal. The only other thing you need to know is that you get 2 lifelines, 2 opportunities to ask my co-hosts for help. You can ask Annie once. You can ask Braden once. They're usually pretty good about letting you know if they do know the answer. Whoever gets to the end first is the winner. Sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right, man. You get to go first. I wish you good luck. Would you like to go boomer, Gen X, millennial, or Gen Z?
I'll try to scratch out boomer right off the first.
All right.
Good luck. Any particular category you would like?
Yeah, we have some subcategories here, Trevor. Braden will explain.
TV and film, pop culture, music, headlines, or slang?
I'll do music, please.
Music. Considered by Rolling Stone as, quote, Britain's best pop singer, this female artist had international hits with I Only Want to Be With You and Son of a Preacher Man.
Son of a Preacher Man, you said?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
From Pulp Fiction. He's in Pulp Fiction.
The son of a preacher man.
I can hear it in my head, but I can't think of it.
Yeah, I owned that album, too, and I don't know.
I think I'll do a lifeline.
Okay, well, do either of my friends know, though? I'm not seeing the glint of knowledge in the eyes of Annie or Braden. Yeah, I might
take a chance with one.
Yeah, you can take a chance. I have a guess, but only because.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Which
go
one
ahead,
are you gonna
Annie.
use?
You're being used now.
Dusty Springfield.
Yeah.
Dusty Springfield is correct.
Oh.
There you go.
Turns out
Thank
Adam
you.
was your lifeline.
Turns out Adam was your lifeline. Yeah, Adam Paul, that is.
What's the son of a preacher man?
Okay, well,
All right, well,
let
sometimes
me.
the chat helps out.
Hey, you
Yeah,
know,
1-0.
hey.
How do you not know this, says Adam? Easy there.
Because we got a lot of other information in our heads.
Easy, Tiger. All right, I'll go Gen X.
Gen X. What category? Want to stick with music?
Sure.
Who had the #1 hit and scored a Grammy with Forever and Ever Amen in 1987?
Forever and ever. Erasure? Trevor can steal.
I am a late Gen X. Oh, man, I feel bad using... Wait, you said I got 2 lifelines?
You've got Braden. I
You've
don't know
already
if
used me.
I don't know it.
Yeah, Braden doesn't know.
Okay, I was going to say, I think he's like a couple years older. I'm not sure.
I think I now know the answer after I got it wrong.
You got a guess there, Trevor?
Forever and Ever?
Forever and
Yeah, who?
ever.
The Forever and Ever Amen in 1987.
Billy Idol.
Correct
stay
answer would be
away.
Randy Travis.
Oh, I was wrong anyway.
good old Randy
Okay.
Travis.
All
I was
right,
wrong
back to you,
anyway.
Trevor.
Yeah, Gen X, Millennial, or Gen Z? Fire away, Trevor.
I'll do millennial.
All right, millennial. Do you want another category? Or you want to stick with music?
I'm down for music.
All right. This
I like
rap
this show.
superstar's first album, Hardcore, cemented her place in the genre, but she later spent a year in federal prison for lying about a rap rival shootout.
Wow. What was the very last part after prison? You said
For lying about a rap rival shootout.
rap rival.
Dang.
Her first album was Hardcore.
I'm just gonna say Missy Elliott. That's probably wrong.
Incorrect.
Yeah.
Lisa
early?
Left Eye Lopez. I don't know.
Correct answer would be Lil Kim.
Lil Kim. Dang it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the game is going
Good
poorly. Let me go to
Jocelyn in
Boomer.
the chat.
Boomer. What category?
Fire away. I don't know.
Who were the African-American sibling classical tap dancers who wowed audiences with their athleticism and precision from the 1930s through the 1980s?
What?
Tap dancers.
Yeah, I have no idea, bro.
I don't know either.
That's
The correct answer would be Nicholas Brothers.
okay. Yeah, my knowledge of 1930s tap is
Not on high.
Limited.
yeah, it's unfortunately quite limited.
All right, back to you,
All
Trevor.
right, Trevor. Let's get some wins
Oh
here.
man.
Gen X, Millennial, or
Man,
Gen
I
Z?
guess I'll do Gen Z. I guess.
All right,
Sure.
Gen Z.
And we'll do movies.
Movies.
Good stuff.
TV and film. Name the three yellow starring characters of the 2015 animated movie Minions.
Oh my
and
god.
Minions.
Yeah, name
Yeah,
the three Minions.
What are the
I
names
guess
of
there's
the
three of them.
Minions?
Kevin. Bob.
Yep. And
Stewart.
That is correct.
Outstanding
Oh my
work,
God.
Trevor.
Well done.
Good job.
Back to you, Craig.
Gen X.
Gen X. We'll go TV and film. Besides Mary Richards, name 4 of the 6 main characters' first names on The Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Come
feel
on.
like you should know
4
this.
out of 6?
Okay, well,
Yes.
that is a lot.
That is a lot, but you know,
No, I abdicate. I'm not going to try.
you don't know any of them?
I might know
I don't
one or
know.
two, but I'm not in the mood.
Okay.
It's messed up, man. 4 out of
Lou,
6?
Rhoda, Murray,
You gotta go with
Sue Ann,
slang.
Ted, and
That's your
Phyllis.
category.
Yeah, I knew Lou and maybe Ted. That was it.
All
That
right,
was-
back
that was
to
James.
back to Trevor.
Trevor, you're win one more and you're going to get the prize because I'm sick of myself right now.
Okay, sounds good. I can do Gen Z again, or is that off the
No,
list?
that's off. You got Gen X or Millennial left.
Okay, I'll do Gen X, and I'll do movies again.
All right, Gen X movies. From 1972 to 1977, against TV and film. Kids learn life lessons on this musical show with Doug and Emmy Joe, the Animal Friends, Henrietta, Hippo, Freddie the Frog, and Charlie the Owl.
I have nothing.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
New Zoo Review.
No, music review. Why aren't you guys doing slang?
We're getting our ass
why is
kicked
no one
right
doing
now.
slang?
Yeah, this game is just winning.
Mind the Gap is going to
Mind
win
the
the
Gap
prize.
is
They're going to
winning.
win the trip to
Yeah, we're going
Vegas
to actually
right now.
give it to the box. The box
All right, go
is
ahead,
going.
Craig. What
All
do we
right,
got?
Millennials.
Millennial. You want slang?
Sure.
Meaning until the next sighting, Arnold Schwarzenegger used this phrase in Terminator 2 Judgment Day, making an instant catchphrase.
I'll be back.
No. Do you have any idea, Trevor?
Booze, get to the chopper.
No. It would be hasta la vista, baby.
Well, you know what? You know what I'm about to say to this game?
Hasta la vista.
Trevor
Hasta la vista, baby. Trevor wins.
Mind the Gap wins.
Yeah, mind the gap one. We're not going to blow out the
I
clock.
thought that would have been I'll be back too.
Yeah, right. Return at a later date. I'll be back. I've
Hasta
never
la
been
vista.
shut out in this game before. I'm going to go lick my wounds. Trevor, great job. Stay on the line. Braden's going to get your information. I hope we send you to Vegas at the end of the month, brother.
Thank you so much. Yeah, have a good one.
You too, Trevor.
All right, we're going to come back. We're going to reset topics, including the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes, getting underway for hour number 4 of the show next. It's 1 o'clock on the Fan. Welcome back. Hour number 4 of Annie and Elsten here with you on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Congrats to Trevor for winning Mind the Gap, although really the game was the winner today.
The game won. The game kicked your guys' ass.
Yeah.
It's true.
1930s tap dancers. Name 4 of the non-Mary characters on the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
You're really hung up on the 4.
Are you kidding me?
You're upset that the Minions were 3.
Yeah.
And the Mary Tyler Moore Show was 4.
That's a hard question.
Yeah.
That's not exactly like
I didn't know it.
I didn't know it
Wheelhouse.
either. Hey,
Like maybe in 1981 that
I
would
didn't
be
know
easy.
Lil Kim either. Jocelyn had that one in the chat.
I'm
yeah, she
telling
was
you.
on it. I've never even heard of Lil Kim.
I have heard of Lil
Yeah.
Kim.
Not at all.
I have not.
I am, yeah.
I did not.
What are they,
I did not listen to
1987?
hardcore. I missed out on hardcore. I was in my high school years. Why did I not listen to hardcore with Lil Kim? I don't know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
What
Nonetheless.
what a miss on your part.
Well, today it was. You know, you never know those little decisions that you make back in the day when they're going to come back to haunt you. And today, the decision not to invest a little bit of my childhood into Lil Kim came back to haunt me.
It hurt you.
It was a big hurt.
That's right. Adam's killing me right now walking around on the phone.
So
It's so funny.
our boss Adam Klug is doing circles, doing laps around
Yes.
the station. So he walks by our
With a
studio
Tootsie Pop
every
in
few
his
minutes
mouth.
with a Tootsie Pop in one hand.
Looks like
Right.
the owl from the commercials.
And he's
How many licks does it take?
yeah,
Well,
and he's talking to
2,
animated
3.
Yeah,
Some
very
disgruntled
what is that word?
Chargers fan.
Animatedly,
Yeah, with animation?
with
I don't
animation,
know.
yes. To
Still going. He just walked by.
Hey,
listeners
he's
who have,
trying to explain to them.
the last we heard him talking was that a reasoning why we maybe don't.
Here, let me troll this caller right
Okay,
now.
can we-
Let's do
we'll just get
60
into it.
solid seconds on the Chargers.
Chargers,
And
yeah.
then we could be like, what are you talking about? They literally talked about it
just
in
talked
this
about it,
segment.
yeah.
Like, why aren't you listening? Why are you calling to complain? You could be listening. The Chargers won again. The Chargers are playing dynamite defense. They are one of the top NFL teams in terms of holding teams down to fewer than 20 points. They played the last place Titans, and they won. And now they're 6-3, and they've beaten the bad teams on their schedule that they're supposed to beat. And now they're going to play 4 good quarterbacks in a row. One of them is Joe Burrow, and the Bengals always find a way to lose by 1 point in a high-scoring game, so maybe that'll happen, and maybe the Chargers will win again. But, kudos to Mr. Never Lie, Never Cheat, Never Steal. He's got his team to 6-3 now, lying, cheating, and stealing all the way through. And, maybe they'll lose in the AFC Championship game. Who knows?
It's very deceiving because of who they're playing right now. And I understand. I see it from other people. Hey, Harbaugh doing what they're doing, doing what he's doing. He's turned this team around. Maybe their schedule is so favorable right now that you're not really seeing where some of their vulnerabilities are.
Sure.
Their schedule is very favorable. However, I think, and the bigger point of this is, you could go turn on an LA station and listen to some LA team talk. Now, except for what?
Except that when you do, they're going to be talking about either the Dodgers trying to sign Roki Sasaki or the Lakers trying to win and figure out a way forward with Anthony Davis, hobbled a little bit with a foot. Or maybe they'd be talking about USC's disappointing year, or maybe UCLA winning 3 games in a row, or maybe they're talking about the Rams losing at home to the Dolphins and the disappointment of that. But they're not talking about the Chargers because they don't care about the Chargers. That's why, because they don't care. They don't care. The city doesn't care. The city never will care. If the Chargers ever, that misbegotten franchise, if the Chargers ever somehow stumble their way to a world's championship, then for a day, there will be a few thousand Angelinos who pretend that they have been Charger fans from the start.
I mean, I hear this even from the TV journalists up there and the radio hosts. They don't talk much about the Chargers because the Chargers just aren't high on their priority list. So if you're, I don't know, I don't know what to tell you, but it's you're not going to get a ton of talk on it on this show.
Maybe you should start a podcast.
Yes.
And maybe you can find in podcasting
That's right.
the topic that you want being discussed at the length that you want.
My favorite part about this entire thing is like if they do win, which they never will, a Super Bowl, and they do like the San Diego fans will not be welcomed by the LA fans. They'll just be like, "Well, this is our team. This is an LA team."
Oh, look at you guys. We own you again.
Yeah, see what happens? San Diego.
Oh, look at us own you again.
Your teams can't win in San Diego, but when they come to LA, they win. They're now ours.
Yeah.
Like if you think you're going to be like included as part of this, like we're all in the same boat together, you're sadly mistaken. Yeah. So have fun giving LA another championship, and then all the Dodger fans that talk crap to you will not ever credit you for winning a championship for your favorite sports team. They'll just be like, well, they had to go to LA to win.
Yeah. And this has been your Chargers Minute.
But
on Annie and Elsten.
They've played a last place schedule, and they haven't played anybody good. And let's see what happens when they play somebody good.
Breaking free agent news in Major League Baseball.
Hey.
The Anaheim LA Angels of Anaheim have agreed to a 2-year, $12 million contract with catcher Travis d'Arnaud.
Wow. Again, going for the mid-2010s.
Mm-hmm.
The Angels are really making some moves. I mean, the Angels have
they got
been
Soler.
very active.
They're going to pluck as many Braves as they
weeks.
can. They've got d'Arnaud, now they've got Soler.
That's really worked out for the Braves in 2018. Maybe we should do that.
Yeah. Hey, that 2021 team was pretty dang good. See what we can do with it in 2025.
What year are they living in?
So Travis d'Arnaud will be there in a timeshare with Logan O'Hoppe, who is actually a young, developing player on their team, an emerging star catcher. So now they've signed d'Arnaud to back him up, whatever.
Is it, did we go back in time? Is it 2016?
It is.
With Jorge Soler and Travis d'Arnaud and, it looks like it's 2015.
Mike Trout for that matter.
Mike Trout.
Anthony Rendon. These were good players a decade ago.
Great players in 2015.
They really, really were. Earlier in the program, we talked at length about the fact that Roki Sasaki, 23-year-old star Japanese pitcher, a pitcher who's had a tumultuous time in his big league career. He's apparently been for whatever reason, written about a lot, in his agent's words, the tough times with the tabloids in Japan. Sasaki wants out of Japan. He has asked the Marines from Chiba Latte, a team which is Lotte, not like your coffee drink, Chiba Latte.
Sounds like Chiba Hut making a latte.
Right.
I think it's like the bias in my brain that wants to call it a latte. But it's Chiba Lotte, right?
Is it Lotte?
Latte?
I don't know.
It's just not
It's
latte,
the Marines
probably.
of Chiba
This
Lotte
sounds
or latte.
like a brand new item
not
at Starbucks, is what it sounds like.
It does.
But it's not. Yeah.
No, it's a star pitcher instead
of a Starbucks.
And the 23-year-old is voluntarily giving up the opportunity at hundreds of millions of dollars to come to Major League Baseball as an international free agent, to be paid as a rookie, to not get the $300 million, $350 million contract. That's how badly he wants to come to Major League Baseball. Now, the prevailing classical knee-jerk national response is, well, then he'll be a Dodger. Then, therefore, he's a Dodger. My buddy Tony, the Dodger fan, who only started texting me about a month ago, real shocker that it's been about a month that he's been like, hey, let me keep texting you during the show about how great the Dodgers are. He texted earlier, said, hey, I know people in the organization, and I know people in the game. Sasaki doesn't want to come to San Diego. He's already told different people he wants to play for the Dodgers. Like,
sick.
Okay, cool, bro. Great.
Put the fries in the bag.
Super fun comment. Appreciate you. Like, okay, yeah, Roki Sasaki can go to the Dodgers. Yawn. Boring. So dull. Oh, LA can just win 115 games every year. Whee, it's so fun. Yeah, it's great. Or Roki Sasaki can, find his own career. Do something on his own as a big leaguer. Make his own news. Instead of Kurt Schilling joining the Yankees, I hate to even mention that guy's name, but, be the guy going to the Red Sox trying to beat the Yankees instead. That's an opportunity. And here's Lotte, says Shota in the chat.
Right.
Lotte. Lotte.
Hello.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So now
Yes.
we've moved on to corn.
Chiba Lotte. No, that's elote.
That's what I said.
That's slightly,
Elote.
slightly different.
We moved on to corn from coffee.
Well,
What's
it's got
going on?
the-
Why
it's
are we
got the
talking about
tahine,
food?
the
Yeah,
mayo.
that's right.
It's a little bit
I have
different.
a
We're
hard
talking
time
about
just calling them the
pitchers.
Marines because I think that if you're just tuning in,
Army,
you're like,
Navy, Air
who
Force.
Are the, yeah, why are the Marines in on Major League Baseball? But that is
Isn't
the
today like
easiest
the
way
Marines'
to go.
birthday too? Is that the...
This is the
What are
point
we
of-
talking about exactly?
We're talking about Roki Sasaki.
okay.
Okay, Roki Sasaki.
We're talking about the fact here. Okay, here's two simple things. If you missed it earlier in the show, here's two simple things to pay attention to. One is when Chiba Lotte posts Sasaki, the day that he is posted, because when that day comes, there is a 45-day window that opens and will close, during which time somebody needs to sign Roki Sasaki. If that window is opened prior to the first weekend of December, then by the rules of MLB, the 2024 international signing pool money is going to be what's available to give Roki Sasaki. And if he is posted prior to the first weekend in December, pretty much the only team, there might be another team, but pretty much the only team that didn't spend their entire year's allotment of international signing money was, guess who? The Dodgers. You guessed correctly, yes. So if that happens, and the Padres have used all of theirs, like they've literally used all of theirs. So,
which is common, which is what
yeah,
you should have
it's
done
what
by
you're
this
supposed
point
to
of the
do,
year.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
like, why would you have unused money?
Right.
So the Dodgers saved $2 million as a gambit. They won't say this publicly, but they saved $2 million as a gambit that they would be able, through all of the groundwork they've done with Sasaki, to convince him that he doesn't need to listen to anyone else's offer. He doesn't need to go out there and be wined and dined by other teams. He should just sign with LA, get the $2 million that he would get, because it's literally $2 million. Get the $2 million and then go in and begin his career, and the whole thing. Blue Menace continues to rise, but
It's like a movie.
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like.
But
Okay.
if they post him after the first weekend of December, then it's the 2025 pool money that is up for grabs for Sasaki. And listen, Roki Sasaki isn't trying to sign with the team that will pay him the most, because if he was, he wouldn't post. He'd wait 2 years, and then the high bidder would bring him to America. It could be $300 million. He's giving up hundreds of millions of dollars to post this winter. So, as such, it goes beyond resources. It goes beyond current team status, and it becomes a true recruiting play. It becomes which market, which organization, which coaching staff, which city, which culture, which environment does Roki Sasaki want to play for? If he's a follower, if he is somebody who goes along to get along, if he doesn't want the smoke, if he doesn't want the pressure, he'll sign in LA, where he is the fifth best player on the team, maybe, or the eighth best player on the team, the third or fourth or fifth best pitcher on the team, depending on who's healthy. He'll get still a lot of attention, but he will be utilized by the Dodgers the way they utilized Landon Knack or Bobby Miller or someone else in their organization. And if he blows his arm out because the Dodgers ask him to max spin, c'est la vie. If he's a follower, that's what he'll do. If he's just going to go try and grab the ring, grab the bag to a Kevin Durant, then that's what he'll do. And if he does, we won't be happy about it.
Did you just flip off the camera?
How would you know?
Oh,
How would you know on the radio? How would you know on the radio what I did? You wouldn't know. You
I
would
didn't see
have no
anything.
idea.
Do you see anything? I didn't see anything.
maybe I was dreaming.
But if this
Must have
kid
some
is
bad
truly
soup.
out, yes, maybe. But the Malacca was delicious.
That's right.
If this kid is truly out to make a name for himself, he's not going to sign in L.A.
I mean, it's okay. Yes, I think that the Padres have a great chance of signing Roki Sasaki. And I don't doubt that AJ Preller has been putting in work on this for years and has been courting him and making sure to dot every I and cross every T in terms of what he can offer him and the care that they will take. And I'm sure one of his arguments is, we will be able to give you more attention. We will be able to really invest in you. You will be a front of the line starting pitcher. I will make sure you Darvish, Hideo Nomo, we will all support you and give you what you need in order to flourish and blossom. And there's motivation for Roki Sasaki because he is not getting the $300+ million contract that he could have gotten if he waited 2 more years like Yoshinobu Yamamoto. So there's motivation for him to prove in the States, because of all those reasons you mentioned too, the tabloids, everybody following him. He's still going to get that media following him, just like Shohei Ohtani or Yoshinobu Yamamoto does. And they're going to look at everything he does every single day. He's going to have the motivation within himself, I'm sure, to want to go out there and earn that second contract and show that he's got what it takes to pitch in Major League Baseball. We don't know what his motivations are, in terms of where he wants to be, if he wants to be with the selling point that they're probably going to give him in LA, which is, we just won a world championship and you've got Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, or what the Cubs might do with their players as well, or like you mentioned, New York, or there's several players that are going to make those, or teams that are going to make that pitch of like, we've got players and we've successfully converted them into excellent big league pitchers here stateside, and we can do the same thing with you and give you that support. But I think San Diego is going to be a draw for him. I think it's not that San Diego's not as exciting as LA. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But San Diego is a little calmer than Los Angeles. It's a softer landing point. It's a place where, like you said, he can be the star. He can really settle in here. It's not as wild and crazy as Los Angeles is. Not just the team and the attention on the team already, but the city. It's just a more robust, what's the word I'm looking for? More people living there, more traffic, more events, more just, there's a lot going on, and he might not want that. Like, he might want to come to where Yu Darvish is selling him on, which is like, hey, this is laid back here. This is a place where you're going to be able to settle in. You're going to be comfortable, but you're still going to be on a competitive team that's going to go out there and do everything they can to win, and we're going to support the heck out of you.
Yeah, I would actually take it a slightly different direction from a recruiting standpoint, because I do understand what you're saying, but yes, San Diego as a market compared to LA as a market, the intensity of just living is easier here.
Living, right? Yeah,
100% agree with that. But in between the white lines, Padres fans are as passionate as any fan base in baseball. And the atmosphere at Petco Park is as intense and enjoyable for a Major League fan, for a worldwide baseball fan, as any place in baseball. So that's what I would be selling him, is less like, oh, you're going to a sleepy burg where you won't be noticed as much, and so it'll be chill for you. It's like, no. Here, you're going to be revered. You're going to be a king. You're going to be a king in this city. Do understand this, Roki. When you go to Los Angeles, LeBron is there, okay? Like, LeBron is already there. Kawhi is already there. Matt Stafford is already there. Lincoln Riley, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout. Go down the list of stars of Los Angeles. You will be a star in Los Angeles, a star. You will be the star in San Diego. You will be revered in San Diego. This will be your home in San Diego if you come. That's the way I would pitch this kid, as you know what I mean? As opposed to like, oh, it's a little easier. It's like, no, it's going to be intense here, bro. You're going to be going against the Dodgers every year. You're going to make history here. Look at what happened in other places. You're going to be the one that leads us to that first championship, and it's going to come right on over L.A. Tyler in the chat, I love it. L.A. ain't painting a mural of Roki Sasaki. That's exactly right. LeBron's already covering the LA Live Tower. Kobe is already covering the LA Live Tower. Like, you're not going to get a mural up in LA. You're going to get one next year here in San Diego if you make the call. Do we sound like little, please come join us in our city? Yes, we do. But what else are we supposed to do? This is literally it. This is what I'm actually nervous about this, to be honest with you.
Players say it. I mean, I'm getting a lot of, I guess, pushback in the chat. We live in San Diego for a reason. There's a reason we do not live in Los Angeles, okay? And I hear players say it. They love the ability to grow, yes, and to be part of a competitive team. And you're absolutely right. That is how you should sell it. And I'm sure that is how he's selling it. You get to be part of a competitive team that has a chance to go to the World Series every year, has a chance to bring down the Dodgers. And we're also going to be able to invest in you. And you might not have to deal with some of what you have to deal with living day to day in Los Angeles and the attention that some of that is going to bring upon you as well. He might be trying to get away from some of that, you know? So again, who knows? Maybe he would laugh at all of us for saying that. And he's like, no, I want the bright spotlight. I want the brightest spotlight I can find. And I want to play with Ohtani and I want to play with Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I mean, these are things we're going to end up learning depending on where he signs and what he says. But it is a selling point to make those arguments that you just made, which is the investment, the ability to still compete, the ability to be in a sold-out stadium every single night that absolutely loves you and is going wild. Like, you're going to get the perks without some of the cons necessarily.
Yes, I love it. Well put. So that's the whole thing. And listen, we're going to break. I'm willing to get my heart broken on this again. Like, I felt like there was a lot of scarring after losing in the playoffs and the feeling of inevitability. And, oh, God, they're going to just get better next year. They're going to get all their pitchers back next year. And we're going to get more expensive next year. And how are we going to do it? And, oh, my God, we're just so screwed forever. Like, you know, that feeling from a couple of weeks ago, it wants me to harden my heart to this and to go, I don't care. If he goes to L.A., I don't care. Wherever he goes, I don't care. But I'm not going to feel that way. I really think the Padres actually have a shot at this. And so I am going to open my heart to the idea that this could happen. And if it gets broken again, it gets broken again. That's the nature of sports. Why do we sign up for this stuff? We sign up for the emotion of it. But I think there's a real chance. I think AJ's known this kid since he was 16. I think AJ's been has an actual relationship here. He and Yu Darvish have an actual relationship.
Yeah.
And either that's going to come to the surface and come to play, or it won't.
Or it could also be that they do everything right. I mean, Yu Darvish makes his best pitch. AJ Preller makes his best pitch. But at the end of the day, Roki Sasaki just wants something different. Like, you can't blame any team for going all in and trying as hard as they can. You know, should that come out later, which I'm sure things will come out later, just like they did with Ohtani, where you never know the full story, but you can kind of make some deductive reasoning by how things went. It is hard to know what he wants, and that can be a big player. But in terms of every team being in on him, there's not a team I can think of that wouldn't want him because they can all pay for him too. Like, you're getting someone with a high upside and a low cost.
Yeah, do the funniest thing ever. Just go sign with the Royals. Like, just
go sign with the Rockies.
Just crack me up. Yeah. Rockies superstar Roki Sasaki.
Go sign with the Rays.
We are way overdue. When we come back, it is Braden's football segment, looking back at the weekend that was with some of the overreactions from the action. We'll do that next on The Fan. from 6 to 7.
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
Yes.
It's Scraby Tuesdays.
I hope Trevor's listening.
Yeah.
I'm sure he is.
Original Scrabinator.
Original Scrabinator.
Trevor. Amazing.
OG.
The Scrabinator just sounds like a seasonally offered burger. You know what I mean?
Scrabinator
Yeah.
with pickles and grilled onions.
Instead of a Baconator, it's the Scrabinator.
Come get the Scrabinator for a limited time. It's back! The Scrabinator! Get it again!
We got to get Scraby some NIL deals local.
Yes.
Do we?
I mean, he already has had his night at Petco Park twice. Like,
That's
I feel like a
right.
burger at some joint in San Diego is not that far off.
Can we get some NIL deals?
That's right.
Like
Probably not.
while we're chatting about it?
Scrabinator burger
No, it just
At-
all goes to Scraby. Got it.
at Beef and Bun. But I demand a shake if that's the case.
Yes.
Oh man, if it was the place literally down the street from me, and Scraby gets the burger,
No, you're going to get the bagel place.
Yeah, you got
well,
the
I'd
bagel
be all right
place.
with
Yeah,
that.
you
I'd
get
be
a
okay
bagel
with that.
named after you, like a sandwich.
Yeah, a bagel sandwich. That'd be okay. Okay, all right. Now I like what
The
you're saying.
Craigwich.
Now I like what you're saying
Yeah.
because just the whole idea that like Scraby goes into my neighborhood to be celebrated.
Scraby will get something
the Scrabinator.
Encinitas.
Encinitas,
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Get some North County love up there.
I
Don't-
think the
don't come into
burgers-
my town.
The burgers that they make at La Costa Canyon football games should be called the Scrabinators.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
There it is. I like it. I like it a lot.
Take that, Kevin O'Connell.
I was playing.
I don't know. I want to know where Kenny Stills is right
Yeah.
now.
I was playing games with a guy this weekend that knew Scraby in high school.
Oh,
He's
wow.
telling me stories.
Scraby stories.
Nate in the
Scraby
chat.
stories.
Scrabinator, put the fries in the
Yeah,
bag.
Fries in the
exactly. Exactly.
Did he
not
have
that
any
deep.
juicy Scraby stories?
Not
or?
really.
All right. Well,
Just that he was that guy, just like he is that guy today.
He was that guy.
He was
love
that
it.
guy
He's
when
that
he was
guy.
17.
authentic.
He is that
Yes.
guy, pal. He is that guy.
He is him.
He is him.
He is him, and him is Scraby. Okay. Braden's football segment. Let's overreact quickly to some of the things that happened over the weekend that was.
Well, we had a familiar face return to the San Francisco 49ers
Yes,
over the
CMC,
weekend.
run CMC.
CMC. Niners do-it-all star running back finally made his 2024 debut Sunday after missing the first 8 games of the season with Achilles tendonitis. That doesn't sound fun.
No.
They did not ease him into action. He had 13 of the team's 15 running back carries, though he gained only 39 yards on them against the Buccaneers defense that seemed bent on stopping him, and added 68 yards on 6 catches. The Niners beat the Bucs with a buzzer beater field goal to improve to 5-4 and move into a temporary tie with the Cardinals for first place in the NFC West.
Wow.
Lights
just happened?
flying all over the place.
What was that?
The light fell
light
over.
just literally fell off.
Jeez.
The
Yeah.
tripod, like,
The
completely fell
tripod
over.
just flipped.
Yeah, out of nowhere. It's haunted.
49ers offense
Another
works
thing to fix, Adam. Come on.
49ers offense works best with both McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel Sr. on the field, and they're looking ahead to ideally 8 more games in which that could be and will be the case. Buy or sell, Christian McCaffrey is going to save the San Francisco 49ers season.
So,
Bye.
I'm buying
Okay.
that.
I don't think he's going to save it. Do you?
They're 5-4 right now. If he's going to come in, and they're way better when he's on the team.
For sure they're
yeah.
better. I just wonder if that will fix all their problems.
I still think they're going to play the Lions in the NFC Championship game.
Going for it.
And I still think they're going to be
I think they're a lot
a
different.
really tough out for the
I
Lions.
think
Okay.
they're going to be a tough out for a lot of teams. I think Christian McCaffrey just drastically changes the dynamic. You don't have to put everything on Brock Purdy's shoulders
Right.
anymore. It's just strictly on. I mean, people are going to be like the Bucs. They're worried about CMC. Everything else opens up.
Yep.
I'm going to buy that. Let's move on to the Ravens. Week 10 opened up on Thursday night. It was a fun game. Barn burner between the Bengals and Ravens. And for the second time this season, Baltimore squeaked out a narrow victory over its division rival. Lamar Jackson, 25 for 33, 290, 4 touchdowns, and he added 33 rushing yards for good measure. It was his 4th game in a row and 5th overall this season with a quarterback rating over 80. In 8 games since the Ravens' long-forgotten 0-2 start, I forgot about that, Jackson has 22 touchdown passes and 1 pick. Baltimore now 7-3, locked in a race with the Steelers for the AFC North title behind the play of its quarterback. Buy or sell, Lamar Jackson is about to win his 3rd MVP award.
I buy it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an overreaction.
I don't
I don't
either.
think it is an overreaction.
Tied for the most touchdown passes in the league. Got the passer rating, 123. I mean,
Yeah.
He's got the
good.
numbers.
Yeah.
And the team is good. So,
After starting 0-2.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, those were 2 tough games, right? Wear white cleats and they're probably 1-1 instead
That's
of
right.
0-2. So
Didn't they lose to the Raiders early? I think
maybe.
they did.
I just
think they
remember the
lost to
Chiefs one.
Raiders.
But yeah.
Knocked me out of a survivor pool.
Yeah.
Thanks for nothing. Vegas. Giants. Oh, man. Talk about thanks for nothing.
I watched some of this game, of course.
They're rough, dude. They're so rough. Daniel Jones and the Giants opened Sunday's action with a heartbreaking overtime loss in Germany to the Panthers. After coming from behind in the second half to tie the game and send it to OT, the Giants lost when rookie running back Tyrone Tracy Jr., who had a great game before this, fumbled on the first play of overtime.
Just tanked it.
Allowing Carolina to kick a field goal 4 plays later. It was the second week in a row in which Jones played a solid second half, Daniel Jones, after doing basically nothing in the first half. And as you might expect, the Giants lost both of those games. In all, Jones 22 for 37 on Sunday with 190 yards and 2 picks. Giants are now 2-8 heading into their Week 11 bye with real questions about whether Jones is the guy to lead their franchise into the future, maybe even the near future. Buy or sell, Giants need to replace Daniel Jones with Drew Lock for the rest of the season.
Giants
Why?
are down bad.
Is Drew Lock going to be the quarterback of the future?
That's
So the situation with Daniel Jones, right, is like he's got 1 year left.
he's been
And then
bad.
they could pick up an option for him to come back next year. Isn't that the deal?
Yeah.
I think that's the deal.
Because if he gets hurt, it triggers a guaranteed $23 million injury clause if he can't pass.
Well,
the
there you go
physical.
then. Bench him.
I think you bench
But
him.
anyway,
Yeah.
so like if that's the
They're just-
situation and
they're
you're
just down
like,
bad.
we're not going to bring this guy back anyway,
Right.
might as well move on to the young kid, see if he's got anything before we have to go spend a ton of money on a free agent quarterback, which they probably won't do, or get ready for the draft, in which they thought about signing a quarterback last year, and they decided to go and help out Daniel Jones by giving him Malik Neighbors, which didn't work out. And they didn't sign Saquon. Bad news for the Giants.
Yeah.
Bad news for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah,
Micah
bye-bye.
Parsons did return to the Dallas lineup for the first time since week 4 when he sprained his left ankle against those Giants. Made his presence felt early with a pair of sacks against the Eagles, and he was essentially the only thing keeping Dallas in the game for the first half. But unfortunately for the Cowboys, you have to play 2 halves, and by the time the second half was revving up, they were toast. Maybe because the sun was in their eyes.
Yes.
Cooper Rush filling in at quarterback for the injured Dak Prescott could do absolutely nothing against the Eagles' defense. Eventually, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles wore down the home team. Cowboys are now 3-6 and were completely uncompetitive against a division rival. The likelihood that Dak Prescott has to miss the rest of the season with a hamstring injury means Sunday could well have been a sign of things to come. Parsons is signed through 2025, scheduled to make $21 million on the 5th-year option of his rookie deal this past offseason. Cowboys spent the money on Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb as 2 top-of-the-market contracts for their positions, and Micah Parsons will likely want to be the league's highest-paid defensive player, or at least very close to it, and he should. Signing him to a long-term would require the Cowboys to really crush it with their draft picks and find cheap solutions at other positions for the next half-decade. Buy or sell, Cowboys should trade Micah Parsons this offseason.
I buy it. They're going nowhere. Get something for him.
Sure. I'm with you. Why not? Why lock in a bad team even longer?
They won't because they won't.
Well, the only guy I said this at the beginning of the season. You have
But they
3
should.
players that you have to sign in Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, and CeeDee Lamb. You got to sign the defensive guy and then the quarterback and let the receiver walk, and they did the exact opposite. They went receiver first, then signed the quarterback, and now they don't have any money left to sign Micah Parsons, who is probably a bigger impact for them in terms of winning football games than the quarterback-receiver combo. And so if they're not going to be able to re-sign him, then you definitely have to trade him, and then the Cowboys will be miserable spending all this money on 2 positions that they don't.
That's why I think they won't trade him, but I think if you're looking at it judiciously, then it's like, get something for him. You're not, I don't know, but maybe they believe they're going to be very good next year. I'm sure they do believe that.
Bonus one for you. Maybe the Steelers got a lucky break on a spot at the end of the game when Washington might have had a first down to keep it going. I would say yes. But all wins count the same. Steelers now have seen 7 of those after beating the Commanders 28-27. Steelers season has Tomlin's Hall of Fame fingerprints all over it.
All over it.
Lost for an answer at quarterback. They signed Russell Wilson after the Broncos cut him. They traded for Justin Fields after the Bears decided to draft Caleb Williams, essentially cutting him in the process. Tomlin picked Wilson as a starter, but Wilson got hurt right for the season opener, leaving Fields to start the first 6 games. At 4-2, Steelers looked to be rolling right along, but once Wilson was healthy for Week 7, Tomlin benched Fields, inserted Wilson as a starter, as was his plan all along. That move raised eyebrows around the league, and even in his own building, but Pittsburgh's now 3-0 with Russell Wilson as the starter. His ability to drop deep passes into the bucket has stood out. Those are throws Fields might have been hesitant to try. Teardrop touchdown pass to Mike Williams. Got traded for the Jets.
Yes.
Reject of the Jets. Won the game Sunday. Was just the latest example. Buy or sell? Mike Tomlin should be the Coach of the Year favorite.
I mean, I buy it, but only because we are where we are. It's too early still, I think.
Yeah.
But
would he be the favorite right now? I mean, you could throw in Dan Campbell. The Lions.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn with Washington has looked pretty good up until this
Mike Tomlin's
point.
pulled the right levers. I think putting Russell Wilson back in when he did, like you said, was the right move, even though it raised a lot of eyebrows. But
he's never had a losing season in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It's
I
crazy.
think KOC winning without the kid quarterback and winning with Sam Darnold is pretty impressive as well.
Yes, he's
I'd
done
throw
a
him in
great
the mix.
job.
Throw him in the mix, but
If you had to pick a favorite right now, who would you pick? That is the question, not who's going to win at the end of the year. Who is the favorite right now?
I mean,
it's hard to go against Dan Campbell though right now. It really is.
That team's good, and they know Mike Tomlin has had 2 different quarterbacks.
Yes.
Is that?
That's why it's right.
I think Mike Tomlin would be my favorite right now. That's why I'm kind of buying this.
Yeah, I'm
had to
with
do
you. I'm
more
fine
with
with it.
less.
Yes. At this point, he gets the half season over Coach of the Year award. Hang the banner, put the front.
hang the
Hang the banner for the half-season awards.
I can't wait to see it at whatever the heck they call their stadium now.
Hang the banner for the finalists and
That's
the half-season awards.
100%.
Oh, my goodness.
Petco Park hanging a Jackson Merrill finalist, Mike Schultz
Oh,
finalist
wow.
banner.
Yes, let's hang it for Shilton.
Hang
Just
it.
Hang it right over the
That's
office.
right.
Finalist.
I can't wait for the press conferences next year in the middle of June when they're on a 10-game losing streak for no reason. Well, I was a finalist last year. For
Just
manager
points
of
at the
year.
banner. Just keeps pointing at the banner. Just
that would be
once
such a
again, I
great.
refer you to
Oh,
this
it'd be
banner.
such a great troll job by Mike Schultz to make a fake banner and
It
hang
would.
it behind his desk
If
everywhere
he
he
did it as
goes.
a troll job, it would be hilarious.
It would be
Yeah.
so funny. I think he should do this.
Or if like Jackson had that at his locker. Jackson wouldn't because he respects the
No,
game
he wouldn't.
way too
Why
much.
does Mike Schultz
But
want
if he just kind of pointed back to it every once in a while.
Why does he want to do a video interview with Ben and Woods this week?
Yeah.
And it's just finalist manager of
Just
the year.
once
right
again,
by-
I'd like to refer to the sign.
See, cause you got one of these behind you, Woodsy? No, you don't. Well, I don't. Let me make the decisions. That would be hilarious.
When we come back, we've got enough time for a quick segment of Ask Us Anything. So we're going to open up the phone lines right now. Allow me to do the code. Okay, it's done. 833
They're open.
288-0973. Lines were closed. Now they're open. 833-288-0973. You've got 8 minutes to call the show. If you do, we'll put you on the air. Just come prepared with a question to ask the show. Annie and Elsten, Ask Us Anything is next on The Fan. All right, gang, final segment of the program. Annie going to be off tomorrow.
Is that what we're seeing? Double there of Craig?
Double of Craig.
On the camera?
Yes. That'll be tomorrow. We'll just aim both cameras.
Look forward to being back
way.
on Thursday.
Thursday.
Keep thinking it's Monday, but it's not.
It's not. It's Tuesday. It's great.
You're going to be so confused by Friday.
Yes.
And then we have a
think
week.
it's like Tuesday.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we have a full week, and then we have the Thanksgiving holiday.
Yes.
Looking forward to that as well.
It's going to get out of whack
It's going
here.
well. I mean, it's going quick, like.
Going quick is going well.
Yeah.
Usually. Okay. Oh, Jason.
Bye-bye.
I was literally about to walk. We had Jason and Claremont on the hold.
Jason was over it.
Apparently, he didn't want to hear that last 10 seconds.
Guy didn't want it bad enough.
Because I was literally reaching with my finger, like, okay, let's hit the bumper and let's do the thing. And
didn't want it bad enough.
Did not want it bad enough. That means it's your turn. 833-288-0973. You could call literally right now, and we will just put you on the air in a right quick hurry. 833-288-0973. I am looking personally forward to the NBA Cup tonight, getting started, to see the wacky courts.
Defending champs.
Lakers are the defending
You're
champs.
Lakers. Hey, you know what they did? They did hang a banner last
They
year.
did.
Put the
They
fries
did.
in the bag.
Yes.
And they said that if they won another one, they would just add a year to that banner. They wouldn't hang any further banners. They'll have one banner.
Lakers being the champs every year of this tournament and not winning the NBA Finals would be hilarious.
It would be actually quite funny. And listen, I think LA is well built to win very early in the season before things go wrong.
Many NBA Cups.
Before age and fatigue, and the wear down of the season. Take the Lakers and grind them into a fine dust. This is the time. And
the time is now.
I think it would be actually quite funny if the team just collected Emirates NBA Cups and then nothing else. But
had a wall for him.
That would crack me up. That really would. That would crack me up. All right, we're putting y'all on hold. Let's hit the bumper. Bumpy bump bump. It is that time. Gwen and Chris in the On Deck Circle. The time is yours, 833-288-0973. Here's VJ in La Mesa.
Right.
Hello. Thanks for calling. Ask us anything.
Yo.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo.
What's up?
You're on the air,
VJ?
bro. It's good to have you here. Ask us
Are you?
anything. There we go. Now you can.
All right. So my question is, this is Annie Elsten, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
That's
Your question is ready. We're ready for you.
Yo.
Yay!
Hey.
All right. This is a stupid one.
Okay.
Tyson and Jake Paul. Who you got?
I want Tyson to beat his ass.
I want Tyson
I'm
to
going
win
with
so
Tyson.
bad.
I'm going with
I
Tyson.
want Tyson to beat his ass.
I will take
man.
nothing less.
That would be.
And you would put money on that?
No.
I mean, I don't.
I would not put any money on it at all.
I would never
I
bet
want Tyson
this.
to win.
I would just root for it. Is what I would say.
Who
VJ.
do you think is going to win, VJ?
I'm gonna go with Tyson too. I think that the dude was just a menace in his prime, in his heyday, and I see it in him. I want him to win so bad. I want it for him so bad.
Feeling you, VJ.
It's going to be tough to lose to Jake Paul.
Jake Paul's younger than him.
I know.
So,
I know.
and he's a big fella.
I know.
I would imagine that Mike Tyson would be most people's pick there.
I think most people want him to win.
Yes.
That too.
It's tough with the age difference.
Yeah. I'm not a huge Jake Paul guy.
No, he's not that great of a person. But
let's go to Jake in Lakeside.
this is Jake Paul.
Let's go to Jake Paul in Lakeside. He's like, F you guys, I'm going to kick his butt.
Afternoon.
What's happening, Jake? Ask us anything, brother.
Sticking to combat sports, I will. Not sure if you're familiar with UFC, but John Jones and Stipe Miocic this weekend. Who do you got for that one?
John Bones Jones
is
man.
back.
Yeah, he finally finished getting suspended.
Right. He was bad. He's a badass fighter.
No, he was out with a tear in his shoulder, I believe.
Okay. I don't know enough, Jake, so I'm going to go with the guy I know. So that's John Bones Jones. I don't know enough
I have
about the
no
other
idea,
guy.
but I like the name John Bones Jones.
It's a good name.
I'm gonna go
It
with
is
that.
a good name. Guy's gotten busted for PEDs so many
Oh,
times, but he's
okay.
been
Well,
Not a great
when
dude.
he's not on PEDs, he's been a really good fighter. But he's getting up there in age now. So
Right, that too. Jake, thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you. That's going to bring an end to the segment.
combat sports.
Yeah, who
On a
knew?
roll
I mean,
right
but
here.
that's the beautiful thing about Ask Us
yeah.
Anything.
And VJ was really excited.
He's in.
To,
I mean,
to
it's on
talk,
Friday.
so-
The fight is
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
Friday on Netflix. So
Oh, all right.
yeah.
Is that going to be on Crossing Streams? I don't know. I want to know who Media Melanie has in that fight.
Well, we'll find out on
Yeah,
Friday
find
at
out on
120.
Friday. Crossing
Are we
Streams.
gonna get a documentary with the fight as well?
I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure they sold.
I mean,
all that
Netflix
stuff.
has to squeeze all the juice out of it,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yep.
So I can only imagine. All right, that's it for us for today. Annie will be back on Thursday. She'll be off tomorrow. Braden and
Yes.
I'll be back with you tomorrow. For Annie, for Braden, I'm Craig. Enjoy Gwen and Chris next, and have a great rest of your day.
Bye.